Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Sound Stream. We are off and running. We got a list of news. It's not like a heavy news week, so I'm going to try to keep us on schedule. Because every time we have a non-heavy news week, we end up going longer than the heavy news weeks because we tend to tangent. And I love tangenting.
I do have a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, and Kaus has a long day tomorrow, so we're going to be getting everything on board. Yes, Muteki, I'm wearing a different shirt because the temperature dropped so significantly that it started snowing today. And it was bright
Cold
skies.
here,
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
It's been raining all day. I went out earlier, and then while I was out, snow. Just it started snowing, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's cold out. It's like 35 out right now. Kaiju Activity Source says no talking about Dragon Ball. I have a feeling, I think we should do is talk about Dragon Ball at the end. So that way we can kind of make sure we get through everything. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I imagine the people that watch these back, they're like, all right, they're like fast forwarding to get to the news, and they're like, are they done talking about Dragon Ball yet?
That's why we had the chapters.
Yeah, that's why I put the chapter times in. So I just want to kind of I think this week we're gonna try to get things rolling, and then it's like we can chat at the end. For whatever times we want at that point. Common Jojo noticed Giant Man was reading a book. He is reading Avengers Epic Collection Under Siege because he's not in it, so he's just catching up on stuff. Yeah, Zeltrex, you can talk about that on the stream chat. That's fine.
You think like Avengers do that whenever they're not available on that mission that day? It's like, what did I miss when I was gone? And they have a whole log that they're reaching to catch up.
Maybe. I wonder if they do that. I know I've been reading the Moon Girl comic recently, which is not nearly as good as the show. The show is an incredible improvement in every area than the comic was. But
I'm gonna be off for just I'll be back.
Okay. In the Moon Girl comic, Galactus showed up, and one of Lunella's sort of friends, Eduardo, was reading the Fantastic Four comics, and he's like, how they beat Galactus before? What did they do before? It's in here, right? So he's just constantly he's like, hey, we should try this. This worked before. That it is very funny. I think the thing with the Moon Girl comic that is great is that it can kind of interact with the Marvel universe more than the show can, but Lunella is kind of off-puttingly annoying in the comic. She's like, I'm smarter than everyone, but makes it everybody's problem as opposed to just being something that's about her. Does that make sense? It's one of those smart characters that lords it over everybody versus
I was just gonna say,
just kind of does their thing. I think the show made a lot of significant tweaks that made it an overall better. I like the comic, but I like the show miles better. Master Ben, did you read Blood Hunt? Yes, I did. I read all of Blood Hunt, every tie-in issue. I loved it because I love vampires and I love monsters, and it was tailor-made for me. That was my kind of Marvel event, and it involved Doctor Doom, so I really liked it. But let's get to let's see if it's the first stream of the month. You know what that means?
Gift subs.
Boom, there we go. I'm gonna give 5 subs. Ta-da! There we go.
All right, well, congratulations to
Oni Onichan, Nomo Toka, Gil Roland's Kingdom, David Johnson, and K Breezy were gifted memberships. So there we go. Muteki, yes, I did have a stream yesterday, but that was for channel members. That doesn't count. This one is different. So welcome to the 5 people that got memberships for this. If you guys want to gift a membership, it's a great way to help support the channel because it means that somebody else gets to benefit from the support. So that's always good stuff.
Sorry about that.
No worries. And if you want a chance at getting a gifted membership, YouTube picks based on the algorithm, based on your engagement with the channel. So, watching videos, liking videos, commenting, that all good stuff, being on the live stream chats, that'll increase your chances at a gifted membership. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, pretty cool. Let's.
You're very early, Clay. Very early.
Yeah. Let's get to the rundown on the Jamie's World gifted 5 memberships.
Get 5 memberships. Sketchosaurus Rex, Transil Jack, Super Rolepozil Go, Ruben Urbigo, and Richard Got memberships.
Welcome. Thank you, Jamie's World, for gifting those memberships. I really appreciate it. Muteki says, can you tell YouTube to stop sending me political ads? Trust me, if I had that power, I would use it for myself first because I'm tired of seeing them.
I know, right?
I get the same... lately I've been getting the same ad on every ad break of a long video, and I'm just like, stop. It's getting to me. So anyways, thank you for the gifted memberships. And yeah, hey, Ryan, would you like to give a rundown of everybody in our live chat while I boot up our
welcome 94 Kun. Welcome 94 Kun, Dr. Great, Forever 1, 000, Jamie's World, Benjamin Wiseman, Kaiju 1954, Jeremy Carr, Common Jojo, Master Ben, MJ Klein, Mitseki, Sentai Ranger Donnie, Super Brick, Spin Dash, SG4 Javen, Hellfire, and Zelchaks.
So welcome. We've got quite a few topics. We got a few things to start with. So I'm gonna get this all pulled up, and we're gonna go through the PSAs. I don't know. I feel like I'm like the only person that still uses PSA in like a positive context. Like people always use it derogatory. I'm just like, no. I think public service announcements are important. Like for example, here's what was on the channel last week, because YouTube notifications be how they be, and not everybody always gets them well. So last week on the channel we had two very different videos. Wednesday's video was Halloween Horror Nights versus Oogie Boogie Bash, which was
new Clash of Clash of Halloween.
Yeah, new Clash of Halloween. That was a fun video. That was one more for me. And I was like, I'm just gonna share this with everybody. It's kind of like, not every video I make is supposed to be like a big hit. It'd be nice if they were, but I'm not trying to like make all of them that way. But this was just kind of a fun Halloween special. I enjoyed editing that together. And if you're a channel member, you can get 2 hours and 35 minutes of raw footage, which is just something I kind of came up with. I was like, I have all this footage, and somebody should enjoy it besides me. It's long. There's chapter markers. You can just like fast forward through chunks of it. Some of it may not be in the right aspect ratio. It's just from the camera onto the editing bay. And then I took that and then cut down, stuff for the Horror Nights Oogie Boogie Bash video. And then Friday saw the return of Sentai Showcase, which I have meant to do for a while, and I filmed it weeks ago, but we had other big videos like the viewing guides, and then also this Ninja Turtles video that wasn't intended to be a big video, but was. And that
hey, you got your money. You got your money back.
I got my money back very significantly. I'm glad I made that video, because I think a lot of people have not bought the new set because of it, and that makes me happy, because it's unless you don't have that show on DVD and really want it on DVD, it's not really worth your time. But that has kind of affected some of the other the video plans. That's why I've been kind of going with these lighter hit videos, because if sometimes when you have a big video hit on YouTube, it like black holes and absorbs everything around it for a bit. So that's why I kind of held off on Sentai Showcase until we had the crossover into a new month. So anyways, it's an episode about God King Odr, and I had a blast making it.
Yeah, because I would say with God King Odr, he does look cool, but I still say the best one is still G12, because I think most people say G12 is like a cluster F. I honestly think it has a very coherent design.
It does, honestly,
and that's kind of my problem with God King Odr. It is kind of just loud. The figure.
It is very loud, and the thing is, I kind of find it funny about it is that I do think that they designed God King Odr first, and then stripped it down to make other combos, because Extreme King Odr does not stand. He does not balance very well, and it doesn't make any sense that they would make that as a combo unless they had thought of God King Odr first. Like, same way I think G12 was designed first, and then everything came from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I would say I think what's the spider trench? What's the spider Kunos' mech? Tarantula, and honestly, I think it's one of the best Ranger mechs. Honestly,
it is.
I think because he's just a good toy on his own. Also, because I really did not like Don Brothers 6 Rangers mech at all.
I like the concept of it, but as a toy, it doesn't work as well because the gimmick takes away too much.
Clunky. Yeah. It's clunky, especially the combination. I think Don Toyanjan's design is really good, but like the combinations are bad, because honestly, you can kind of tell that Don Toyanjan was designed by itself, and they were trying to figure out how to
add
add
stuff
onto
to it.
it.
Yeah, because I like a lot of the ideas, and that's another Sentai Showcase episode. Is like, you know, and the thing is too, I might just do more Sentai Showcase episodes where it's like, and let's just look at a whole mecha line because I actually really like doing that.
Welcome back to the History of Megazords.
Welcome back, History of Megazords. I definitely need to get do more videos in that space.
Was there ever a lore reason of the whole Don Oitaijin head, or was that one of those classical?
It just showed they like, here's the Don brother, like the King Oger mecha gear, and then King Oger shows up with a Don Oitaijin face, and then it turns into the regular face, and then he walks away, and it never. They don't even follow up on it in Don Brothers versus King Oger. Like it's.
I really parts and stuff like that. Maybe I don't like when done. I get it's just, I get the joke. It's random toy advertising.
But the thing is, it's more that Bandai said you have to do this, and Inoue was not bothered about integrating it into a story, and that's always how he's been too. You go back to Fies.
I get that, but like, because I feel like there's a difference. I feel like there's a difference between like them throwing the Fies. Was it the Fies Speed Axle Watch, right? There's a difference between that versus that, where at least the Axle Watch makes sense to be thrown at Fies because that's just another part of the smart.
I will also say the King Oger cameo in Don Brothers, it was just the same as the Don Brothers cameo in Zenkaiger. It really served no purpose. It just was there to like early sell a toy.
Yeah, because I think honestly, well, the Don Brothers, the Don Brothers, the one I think at least sort of has a nice segue with it because at least it's the two mechs, the first mech Rhydon works with the symmetrical docking system of Zenkaiger, so that one makes sense in terms of how, like, even though it's too kind of random, but then again, Zenkaiger's anniversary season, that makes, is you don't have to explain that much about that cameo because they already
and
been
they actually
doing the whole
use the
summit.
gear, whereas with Don Brothers, King Oger just walks in. It was very weird.
No.
But anyways, I did include it though because I thought, well, I'm never going to talk about this Don Oitaijin mask otherwise, and I spent $10 to get it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I tried so many times, but I can't get into Don Brothers. There's something about Don Brothers that irks me a lot that I just can't get into.
The thing that got the show to work for me was when I stopped looking at it as a Sentai show. I'm like, this is just a Tokusatsu. That's Sentai. I treated Don Brothers the same way I treat a Cable Ranger, where it's like, this is just a thing. But the problem is that Don Brothers is a numbered Sentai. I think that's the problem.
I would do that, but the problem is they turn to other previous Sentai. So it's as soon as you do that, then they turn to.
Oh, here we go. Logic Blaster left a super chat.
Well, do you have overall take on McFarlane's approach to producing toys?
Okay, so overall, because we talked about this a lot, and it's not going to come up today, but overall,
well, kind of. We do have McFarlane news.
We have McFarlane news, but this specific thing, I like almost everything they're doing with the McFarlane DC Multiverse line, and I like a lot of the way the McFarlane figures are done. It's not everybody's thing. I like them. The thing I hate is the platinum shit. I am so sick of these chase variants that should just be sold, like figures also sold. I would buy 2 Lightning Lads. I would buy 2 Huntresses. I would buy multiple Green Lantern figures. I would buy the Question and Shining Knight and like all these figures. But because they're chase variants and I live in a low population city, I am never going to see them in my stores. I am never going to be able to get them online. And in general, I just wish they'd just sell me the toys. There's absolutely no reason to be doing chase variants in this day and age.
Yeah, no, because like I saw a good theory of why there's so many platinum editions now. Is because the platinum characters now. Because one of the reviews I watched, I might put this theory out there where maybe because the exclusive figures have been selling poorly, like the Targets and the Walmarts.
Part of it's because they're overproduced.
Yeah, and maybe this is like some kind of counterbalance, whereas like maybe like the Question was meant to be like say a Target exclusive, but due to the fact how Targets had to move in the previous Target exclusive McFarlane stuff, that maybe Todd had no choice but to make it a platinum chase.
I think that would have been fine if it happened a couple times, but we're now like 4 or 5 waves of new exclusive platinum to the point where they're rebranding platinum for if it's a unique character, it's a red platinum. Like that means they're leaning into it, probably because it's selling, because people will buy a whole case. If it's like one chase is in a case of 8, you will buy a case of 8. That's what they sell them on the
It's
McFarlane
it's, it's
store.
very anti-consumer.
It is
kind of thing. That's my problem with it because I'm one of the few like really few people that will actually defend the DC McFarlane stuff because I legitimately think that toy line gets way overhated on. Like if
I
you're not
really like a
into
lot
McFarlane,
of it. The
if you're
availability
not
is the problem, right?
if you're not into the McFarlane style figure, that's totally understandable. It's a unique. McFarlane has his own way of designing figures. Like Hasbro had their own way of designing figures.
Yeah.
Bandai had their own. Every toy has their own way of designing figures. And you're not into McFarlane, that's totally fine. But like I had this argument in the server before, where like I think some of the hate McFarlane gets is really overblown. Where people were trying to say McFarlane QC is like horrendous and they all break and they feel like they're gonna snap in half.
The worst case of any QC I've had, and I own like over 100 McFarlane figures, is I've had a couple figures where their shoulder ball joints pop out because the tolerance was too tight. But they're not busted.
Yeah.
They're just.
No, I have collected a lot of McFarlane, and none of them has ever break like so Hasbro QC. It's the worst the Hasbro QC because Hasbro QC is now thankfully been
it's been smoothed
6
out,
now. Yeah, but like during the height of it, I never once seen it break, and I follow a bunch of collectors of McFarlane multiverse, and like the only time where I've seen them broke is when they're trying to customize like leg swap or do a like
or they're
like
handling
kit
figures
bash.
that are made for adult collectors as if they're made for 4-year-olds. They are sturdier. They are stiffer plastic because they're aimed at 14 plus.
They're 14 or 8 plus or 12 plus, 12 plus. Or
yeah, they're
like they're
aimed
not...
older, so it's like you can't throw a McFarlane figure against the wall and then get mad it breaks. You
I
can't
also
do that
saw
with Hasbro
like
stuff.
I saw like I got a link to the like all the Batman anime series figures break. I'm like, that's just the problem with that design.
Yeah, and that was a problem when DC Direct was making them too.
Yeah, no matter what, the Bruce Timm style cannot be made into a functional action figure because it's too barrel chested to be stable.
And everything gets too thin when you start adding joints.
Yeah, no, so because I legitimately think what Todd and his crew, because I think that's another problem. That people always just say Todd, and we like to say Todd, but it is
because he puts himself as the face of the company, but he is a team.
But it's like when people, Master Bang, member for 9 months. Sound Ryan, Jerry, favorite toy company, go.
We will do that right after.
Yeah,
let's finish up the McFarlane thing before we get on because I want to get on to the
but still, I think, besides the availability problem, I think what they do with what they do with the wire cape stuff, the price value, and
the faceplate swapping, I'm loving.
The faceplate, that's it. I appreciate Todd's company.
The Batmobiles are my favorite thing right now.
Because that's I appreciate McFarlane for actually feeling like they're trying to innovate.
Yes.
They're the first ones to do wired capes like fully, and it looks like they're making this a common thing now, which is fantastic.
And
wired capes,
welcome Commander 64 and dual fabric wired capes on top of that.
Yeah. And now they're doing face plates now. Because they first did that with their Demon Slayer line, and now they're moving to the multiverse. And while it's definitely finicky because it's more hard to do face plates for realistic faces than anime faces, I commend them for doing it. Still, they're would
willing
love
to try something different, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, so that's so. Favorite toy company? You go sound that first.
Favorite toy company.
You know what's funny?
What's up?
Just quick.
Go for
Jada.
it.
Right now.
Jada? Jada.
Yeah, I think that's I was like thinking, I was like, no, it's not Bandai, it's not Hasbro, it's not Mattel, it's not McFarlane. But I would say Jada because I don't have any complaints about Jada right now.
Jada, yeah.
If it wasn't for the price, Storm Collectibles would be like right.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. For me, my favorite toy company right now, even with its flaws, I honestly would say Jakks Pacific.
They make great stuff.
Yeah, no, because I know the biggest problem with them is distribution, and that's actually a big problem. And I'm not sure that's their fault or the
I don't know where in the line like the fault of you can't find Jakks Pacific toys that aren't the main character falls into, but it's somewhere in their company, and I that's the one thing that frustrates me because I love every Jakks figure I get. It's just actually getting it is a more hassle.
Yeah, I don't just talk about the Sonic stuff because the Sonic stuff is definitely a fantastic thing. But I think stuff like the Simpsons line is like fantastic. Also, you're a big Simpsons fan. and such, and
Their Mario
I
line's
think
good. It just has the
it's character variety, and that's
variety is
Nintendo,
lacking.
and that's a
That's
pure Nintendo
Nintendo,
problem. Yeah, but I legitimately think, as as a big Sonic fan, what they're making is like my dream toy line of all
Yeah.
time. It's such because character variety, I think, is fantastic.
What I just
Having
would
different
like is if they could
scales.
just open an online store.
Yeah, or just Amazon. Make Amazon like a
Either make
better, like a
Amazon
full
do it
store.
or open a store themselves and just sell us the figures. Because I want to buy them all. I want to buy them all.
Like, yeah,
And that's a
because like
compliment for any company, right?
like I don't army build like at all, but like I've been collecting 2 of each Badnik from the 2-inch line because they're. I
Could
just
you
like
imagine if they
that's.
just sold you like a case pack of 5 Badniks of the same
I know,
Badnik?
right? I would just buy like at least 3 of them because
Yeah.
they're not even affordable, but just like it's. I've been wanting this for so long. Is just because that was my problem with the Jazzwares line. It's the only way to get Badniks is you have to rebuy the same characters over and over again.
Yep.
And with Jakks, you don't, and that's great and such.
All right,
And that's
moving on
that's for
because
me.
I think it's time to get things rolling.
Well, Jada was Kaus's
Yeah.
answer. Do you have your own?
Jada's also mine. I don't have anybody I'd rank above them at the moment.
Yeah, no. I think like Jakks is my personal favorite, but Jada is I think objectively the best right now.
Because like
Still,
the companies I like the most are Jada, Fresh Monkey Fiction, and then I think number 3 might be Bandai right now because I just really like a lot of what Bandai's doing.
I'll give shout outs honestly to Jazzwares. Their output for all their lines is great. Not even for, like the total anime line. I think it's a really fantastic line.
Point is,
also,
toys
like their
are good.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
I think the Fortnite and Halo lines are great just to have that kind of nostalgic.
I wish
feel
their
having...
Fortnite line could come back in full force.
Yeah, I know, because like their Fortnite line was so great because now you get really high quality 4-inch figures with actual good posability, but vehicles.
Yeah,
like feel like
as someone that got into Fortnite recently, I'm mad that all the 6-inch Fortnite lines died because Hasbro decided to absorb that license and then do nothing with it.
I would have. I mean, I honestly would have picked up the Fort. Like, yeah, it's one of the things where their Fortnite line was tracked in the modern GI Joe.
Yeah,
with the weapon
packs
and
I don't collect 4-inch anymore. I gotta cut myself off because I keep doing.
Yeah, no, but it's just the variety is what I appreciate about their Fortnite line the most. Is just it's nice to see something like a scale of an 80s toy line in a modern day setting.
Yeah,
now it's gone, sadly.
Last bit on this before we move on. Jamie's World says, does Lego rank anywhere on the list? Nope. I just gave Lego a ton of money for the X Mansion, but that's the only Lego set I bought this year for myself.
I like
Lego's great, but
prices.
It's what prices because here's the thing about Lego. You have to you're like a hardcore Lego collector or a casual one. You can't be in the middle because space is not even like money. Well, money's part of it, but space and money is not a problem.
I want the X Jet, but I refuse to pay the price for it. You know,
and that's and Lego's one of those companies that also I don't know that's the Lego's problem or the partner company's fault scenario.
Whatever it is, I am paying $85 for Next Jet. As soon as that thing goes on clearance though, and it's sub 50, I'll buy it because I would like the Jet to go with my man.
Well, the only minifigure you need from that set is just Magneto at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I would even be fine just finding the Jet on its own. I just would like the Jet to go with the mansion, but if I can never get it, I actually don't. I don't want to pay 85. It's just too much for how little that set is. But let's move on. Last week's shorts, we didn't cover that. We had Colossus, the movie version of Colossus from the Deadpool movies, and Chopper's adventure, his grand adventure, his bizarre adventure, or as someone in the comments said, his average day pretending he was Roanoke Zoro.
Yeah. yeah. That wasn't multiple days. He just turned left and he got there.
Yeah, no, I totally didn't take all those photos like across 4 days or anything. Anyways, that was really fun to put together.
Did you remember to label the food in the fridge?
Yes. I love the 2 rules of X-Men being don't kill anybody and label the fridge because that is the ethos of X-Men is you're supposed to do the right thing and you have to live with a bunch of chaotic people. That is what being an X-Men is.
That's the thing I want to be a constant in the X-Men franchises. I want the I just want the label food to be a constant in cartoons, comics, and movies. That's the constant
and I want chaotic scenes like Magneto and Gambit like giving each other death stares over coffee and beignets, like in X-Men '97. Like, I want that stuff. I love it. Give me the drama. X-Men without drama is not X-Men.
Same
Plain
thing
and
with
simple.
Fantastic Four. Same thing with Fantastic Four not being a sitcom.
Yeah,
Family
Fantastic Four
sitcom.
is like half sitcom. X-Men is half soap opera. That's the differences.
You cannot tell me that Johnny in the Toon Story film putting whipped cream on Ben's hand, and
That's
that you
peak
can't tell me that's not.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that you can't. Yep.
If those movies hadn't screwed up Doctor Doom, those would be perfect Fantastic Four movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tanuki mentioned how good it looks with the new Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Mine finally shipped today.
Which the Deadpool or the costume
Deadpool,
one?
the Deadpool Wolverine, Deadpool, and the Wolverine in the yellow suit. Hasbro was sitting on it because apparently my payment didn't go through. They didn't tell me, and it just put my order in limbo. And I called them, and they're like, "Oh, it didn't actually go through. You had to like re-enter your payment method." And I did it, and then it finally shipped. And I was just like, "What? Why would you not tell me this?" It was sitting pending on my account, and I was just like, "Is this ever going to charge?" And apparently, no, because their system glitched. Current Pulse sucks, guys. The website's just terrible.
I know, right?
Speaking of Pulse, the Ghostbusters Haslab has a big update. First of all, we're at 8,845 backers out of 12,000. 28 days to go. I think this has been comfortably raising up every day. It should make it. There's
no stretch goal, right? There's no stretch goals.
No stretch goals, right? Yeah. What you see is what you get, and what you get now includes Louis Tully. So originally they had announced...
Tully doesn't die tonight.
Yes. Originally they announced that Tully had to be... the campaign had to fund by 2 weeks in order to get Tully. They changed their mind on Halloween and sent out a cute little email where they were like, just kidding, we're going to add Tully into everybody because that was kind of a thing that I think they realized it's going steady, it's going to fund. What's the point in locking him behind an early bird bonus?
I think they also got flashback to the early bird Robbie War, and like we're not having that again.
Exactly.
I also like that they saw our video saying how it almost feels like Tully's gonna die on that day. So it's like, no, Tully's not gonna die tonight.
So the base package now includes a full action figure with full accessories, and so does the deluxe package. So now they all come with an extra figure. So
don't worry, Rick Moranis can continue on.
Yep. I'm still 100% all in on the deluxe package. I can't wait. This looks great to me. All right. And then in other fundraiser news, John Warden, who worked at Hasbro for 25 years, his wife has Crohn's disease, and her medicine costs an insane amount of money every year. And he's been laid off by Hasbro. The American healthcare system sucks.
So does Hasbro.
And Hasbro sucks because now that he's been laid off, he originally could afford his wife's medicine with his Hasbro salary. Cannot do that anymore. And so there is a GoFundMe. If you want to help support John Warden's family, here is the link. I wanted to signal boost this because, screw you, Hasbro. This is terrible.
Because this thing, if he was like, what was it? Because even what's the term where even though they left the company, they still give him like residual checks for
severance.
Like, severance, yeah, it's not like that where they just like bye John.
Yep, it seems like they just cut him completely. Didn't give him severance or retirement, which he would have if he got to retire. So
it's not like the man will be working for the company for like 25
years. 25 years. Hasbro sucks. All right. In other news, Hero Club Live next Monday will be interviewing Kyle Wodiga from Super 7. He's one of their designers. I'm talking about Power Rangers, Godzilla, Ninja Turtles, and more. It'll be me and Wheels for sure on that. And that'll be next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the 11th. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be on the Hero Club YouTube, which I'll drop a link to here.
This guy rated our chat when we talked about the Ted and Tree figures.
At that point,
yes, he did.
Well, I don't know. Like, you guys can handle it. But at that point, if you need me, I will be around on the 11th.
We might have you tap in to run the chat because we'll be busy.
Yeah,
super chat for $5 from Master Ben. We want a new Ghostbuster TV buddy cop.
Sure. I would like more Ghostbusters. I'm all in for it.
I want Extreme Ghostbusters to come back.
That'd be fun.
Was cool. Going Ghostbusters was cool.
That would be fun. So anyways, we're interviewing Kyle next Monday.
I like the way you describe it. Sounds like I had a Mercy Couse button. You can press to summon him.
Yes.
Like it's like a like a Star Trek like a Star Trek tractor beam. It's like Couse, beep.
He has a site-to-site transporter beacon. We can just click.
Yeah.
SCP-999. You haven't missed the SHF section. We're still getting to that.
Get to it.
So
I want the
yeah.
Gorilla Ghostbusters. One day we'll get Filmation
The
Ghostbusters.
Filmation.
Yep.
The Filmation one.
Yeah, Monk.
Kyle's great.
Monkey.
He's super fun to talk to, and we will be doing that. So
He seems
I'll
cool from the little bit I've seen him. Yeah.
yeah, for context, I'll still be streaming next week, same time. This will just be after. We'll just try to wrap up next week's stream on time, so I have time to eat before
Yeah.
before that. But there'll be another reminder next week about that. All right, we got some entertainment news next, guys. That's going to be the next fun part.
Ooh.
Switch over to news time here.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? I think we got a good, healthy amount of good news and bad news in the entertainment section this week. It's like there's some ups and there's some downs, but there's a lot of ups. I feel like
Meanwhile, Hank is just too busy reading his comic back there to care.
Hank is very enthralled. I only own that. I don't collect the Avengers Epic collections. I only own that one because it was in the half off section at my comic shop and it has Hercules in it. So I mean, I'm glad he's reading it. I haven't read it yet. He'll have to give me the rundown. Okay, so let's get to it here. All right. So entertainment news. First things first. My computer sounds like it's jet engineering. What the heck?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I'm gonna turn the brightness down a little bit. Sorry if my face gets dark, guys. All right, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, the beat 'em up game that we've been waiting for, has a release date.
By Digital Eclipse.
By Digital Eclipse. Has a release date December 10th. It'll be on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and Steam. According to Steam, it is $35. The game is gonna have like full cutscenes that are animated, which they look amazing. There's 3D models in certain sections, like the Megazord fights.
It looks so good.
It looks
like
great.
I love the game looks cool. I love the anime cutscenes. They're so like I keep telling people like I think anime Power never comes back. I think anime is not a bad way.
Yeah.
For it, and I think the cutscenes we see here also great. Also, I just love Billy and Goldar doing Dragon Ball fighting in the background in one shot.
It's pretty great. Let's see. Tyro Pop said Power Rangers beat 'em up. Is there a physical release? They said no. They haven't confirmed a physical release yet because it's expensive to do. They're hoping that it will sell well. Basically, if it sells well, they'll do a physical.
Yeah, because that's the thing about these
smaller developers.
Let's see. I'm going to see is there any detail I can get. Pilot Roger jump the conflict. Okay, nothing new. I was seeing if there's any new updates, but no. Also, is that Dan Moore art for the main artwork of the game?
It
looks very much.
It looks like his style, but I don't think it's his because the helmets don't look like Dan Mora's helmets.
And the way how he draws it, yeah.
Dan Mora draws very accurate Jew Ranger helmets. That is not. And that's the Jew Ranger helmets are hard to nail. Proportionately, they're really hard to.
I mean, look at how many figures from Hasbro and Bandai. They look off.
Yep. So yeah, we'll see how this ends up going, but we'll see. More. I'm excited for it to come out. I'm looking forward to it. It looks fun. It looks really. It comes
out December 10th, which is a Tuesday. So I don't know how we want to handle that with Kelsey's stream and everything like that.
We'll figure it out, and we'll tell you guys later.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, the live-action Gundam movie that's been in development at Legendary Pictures. It's been in development for like years now. We heard about it way too early. It's one of those like we shouldn't have heard about it when we did. They were just like way too.
Yeah, because I thought it was in development hell for a second.
Yeah, it's just they signed the deal and then announced to the public that it was happening. Like
I remember
days later.
I remember when Gundam Re-Rise was announced. There was like a small snippet of this. I don't think that was really anything for the film. I think it was like a random generic CG space tendered for that as a real.
So anyways, it originally had Jordan Voight Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island, as the director, and the movie was going to be distributed by Netflix. However, the director has now changed to Sweet Tooth showrunner Jim Mickle. And ironically, despite Sweet Tooth being a Netflix show, Netflix is no longer involved. It is still between Legendary and Bandai Namco Filmworks, but Netflix is no longer involved. And that's kind of crazy because I thought Netflix was like getting in on the Gundam game with, streaming Seed Freedom exclusively and having Requiem for Vengeance as an exclusive show. And just they've been adding more Gundam to the service.
They were.
Didn't they get Hathaway also?
They got
Yeah,
and they have the
Hathaway,
exclusive rights to
and they
Hathaway.
added Char's Counterattack in the Gundam trilogy too.
Yeah, they did. It seemed like they were getting all in on Gundam to prep for this live action movie that they were going to be distributing. Remember, Netflix was never going to be making it; they were just going to be distributing it.
Mhm.
But apparently Netflix is no longer involved, and it's going to just be
They found out that they thought they were funding Tim's counterattack, but they found out that was actually Gundam's counterattack.
But yeah, let's see. Let me find the exact quote here. Where was the part about? Yeah, Legendary has been on high priority on this has been high on this priority for some time, and is at one point working on a movie with Netflix and Jordan Voight Roberts, but the streamer and Voight Roberts are no longer involved. So basically, anything that did exist or was in development is now out, and they're starting over, basically. So basically, we ain't seeing this for another few years, but yeah,
Yep.
it's interesting development. I think Sunrise is trying to make sure this lands like a Netflix One Piece and not like a Netflix Death Note. Does that make sense? Yeah. And Andrew brings a good point. Maybe Legendary wants their movie to play widely in cinemas. Yeah, because the original plan was that it was going to be released in China in theaters and then everywhere else on Netflix. But maybe that's true. Maybe they wanted to get away from Netflix because they want to do a theatrical run because, anime-based movies have been doing really well. Whether they're anime movies or live action, so maybe they want to try out a theatrical, and Netflix is not into that business. So that's a very likely possibility. All right, in the other, here's news to think about and forget about for a few years. They're working on another Godzilla movie at Toho. This is following
Yeah.
Godzilla Minus One. And one of my problems I have with this article is it says, new Godzilla movie from Godzilla Minus One director greenlit by Toho. And then where do you find his name? A new Godzilla movie from the director of last year's Oscar-winning Japanese film Godzilla Minus One has been greenlit. Toho, the internet company. It's the third paragraph. We put Takashi Yamazaki's name in this thing.
Wild.
Like, we just looked at that Gundam article where they put the Sweet Tooth guy's name in the headline. I don't know if this is a Variety and Deadline run by the same people, but like, this is something that we need to change. Hollywood, stop doing this to foreign talent. Disrespectful.
I mean, it's great. It's great how because when did they ever say? Was they ever say when was Minus One greenlit versus? Because
I don't know when it was greenlit to when it came out.
How many years was it between Minus and Shin? Right, it was 6 years. Was it 6 years?
Master Ben AI didn't write this. Just a reporter that didn't know better. Shin was 2016, so it took a while to get another movie after that.
So it's good to know that because I know like the big thing why Toho stopped is one, Final Wars didn't do well, but also like they just kind of let this Legendary just do the film work, for understand, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that because I know Shin was a big hit, but it wasn't the reason why we didn't get any more films because Anno wanted to do something else, and then Toho wanted to do something with Godzilla.
Toho and Anno didn't agree on what they wanted to do. That was
so that's why there was like so I'm glad that with the success of Minus One that Toho's like no we want to be back in the Godzilla scene. Like even this might take a while to make, but I'm glad that like they look like
I hope they
confident.
get more money so that way because the VFX artists were overworked and underpaid on Minus One.
Well, what's the gag is like I remember when the whole like oh my god the suit only like this much to make was to make, and like Takashi was like I wish we had that money.
Yeah, it's like I wish the budget was that high when everyone thought it was so low. Kaiju934 said Minus One got announced in November 2022. At that point, it was reported that filming had completed. Yeah, a lot of Japanese films won't announce when they're in development; they'll announce it after they've already filmed it. So they're kind of they're trying to. Because Minus One did so well in the international space, minus Southeast Asia, because for some reason they wouldn't release it down there. Which they better do for the sequel. I think they're trying to play in the Hollywood space.
Well, do you think there's gonna be a sequel or just another film directed by Takashi? Like I don't mind. I don't mind either. Like I kind of
either or. I feel like if it's gonna be directed by him, it should just be a sequel because I think it doesn't necessarily have to even be the same human cast, but just kind of like the same vibe.
Because there really hasn't been like I know there's like definitely Godzilla films where it's the same Godzilla, but there never been like direct sequels. Have there?
Yeah, there has the whole Heisei era. Basically, Everything from
'Cause
Return of Godzilla to Destroya is one ongoing continuity. They have overlapping
okay,
characters, they have moving stories. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS are direct sequels to each other.
okay, yeah,
So,
because I
yeah.
know the films are in the same like era or the same
Yeah,
universe, but I wasn't sure they were
The
like.
Showa era is very nebulous with continuity because they just really didn't care about continuity. They would just do
Yeah.
stuff. The Heisei
Mhm.
era was very much like these movies go one into another. It's the same Godzilla through all of them. And then the Millennium era were all standalones except for Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I was the middle area as well. I was thinking of where they're
yeah,
kind of
they were just
yeah.
all
I do.
standalone. Yeah,
Speaking, have you seen the new Godzilla and Jet Jaguar short they
I
made?
did. I just wish they would upload it in higher than 480p quality because all I
I
was
know, but
getting was stream rips. But it was great.
it was emotional, damn it.
It was great.
Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar. I miss.
Let's see. Where was someone else mentioned? So, oh, Outlaw the God said, "Hello, I'm new. Welcome, hello, I'm new. We're glad to have you here.
Homer Simpson smiling politely.
Yeah. All right. Next piece of news. Okay, so Star Wars Skeleton Crew, pitched as Goonies in space, and they kept saying a bunch of words.
Yes.
Oh,
That are,
Cryo Pop mentioned. I did saw that. Are we talking about the Godzilla Digimon thing?
we will. That's in the Bandai section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
That's a
okay. I
toy.
wasn't sure.
It's not an entertainment thing. It's a toy thing. And like Jeremy Carr said, please remember to hit like. It really
You're
helps the
right about
streams.
Goonies in space, by the way. I just saw the trailer and I'm just like, wow.
It's
That's
Goonies in space, Stranger Things in space. They cited a bunch of
Yeah,
Amblin
that's
stuff as inspiration. All that stuff doesn't hit for me because I wasn't a child in the 80s. So like
I grew up watching the Goonies a
Oh
lot.
no, your
Yeah.
shelves say your shelf says otherwise in your videos.
No, that's the thing. I like 80s properties. I love 80s movies, I love 80s cartoons, I love 80s comics, but I didn't grow up as a kid in the 80s, and there's a difference between like flashing back to a time, there's a difference between like flashing back to the 80s, like giving something an 80s vibe, and talking about and actually just doing something like we want to make you feel like you were a kid, like you want to bring you back to your childhood in the 80s, which I never had. And so some of the stuff like Goonies just slips through the cracks for me because it just didn't work for me as well. I just don't like the Goonies.
Baba Monster Squad.
Monster Squad's cool, but it's got monster advantage. Monster advantage gets me going. Goonies is just not something I like. So they kept going like it's Star Wars but Goonies, and I was just like, no, I don't care. But this trailer flipped the script on me because I'm like, oh yeah, Goonies in space. I didn't realize you said Goonies in space, where there's an entire spaceport of weird alien characters, and you're just going to encounter some new sights and exciting things, and it's going to be like a high rollicking adventure. Because if you sold me that in the first trailer, I would have been more excited about the show. I'm into this now. I'm 100% on board with this show after this trailer. I'm completely flipped. What do you think,
Cool trailer.
Kaz? You tell me.
I liked it.
Yeah.
As somebody actually, watched the Goonies and grew up with it.
Mm-hmm. So it gives you the Goonies vibe, right?
I was kind of scared. I was like, man, this ain't gonna be fun. And then, like, as it kept going, I was like, okay, all right, it seems fun.
I think I was like in the first part of the trailer where it's just like, and here's the kids, and oh, they're in trouble at school, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and then they get on the ship, and then they land.
When they got on the ship,
and they got on the ship,
that's
and I was like, oh,
it got me.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. And then they landed on that planet. They landed on that spaceport, and they're like trying to get weird food from an alien guy, and they don't know how to pay for it. And I'm just like, now you're talking. Now I'm into this. I'm feeling the Star Wars in it. I was feeling the Goonies. Now I'm feeling the Star Wars. Yeah. And kind of a Star Wars that we haven't really had in a while, which is just like a butt ton of alien characters. And I think that is pretty. I don't know. I'm pretty into it. I'm gonna watch it for sure. I went from like maybe I'll watch it when it's over to like I'll watch it weekly.
I was kind of on it until I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I think this is great. I also think they managed to stray far enough away from being the Star Trek Prodigy ripoff I thought it was going to be when they first announced it. Because 4 kids find a spaceship and go on an adventure where they have to get a mentor character to bring them home sounded a lot like Prodigy. But the difference here is that the Prodigy kids were orphans and slaves on a mining planet, and these kids have stable home lives and don't really need to have a reason to be leaving, but they do anyways, which makes them rebellious, and that makes it Star Wars. So yeah, I'm kind of into it.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh boy, I do love. We're in 80s. Hey, remember the 80s decade part 2?
Yeah, I know.
That was the 20.
The 80s will
That was
never
the
die.
funny. I and like I like the 80s. I love 80s films.
Yeah.
I enjoy 80s cartoons, but it is a bit like, man, we're so stuck in the 80s, huh? Aren't we?
We got a little of 90s nostalgia, and we're way late on the 2000s nostalgia, but we are starting to get it because we've been getting crumbles of 2000s nostalgia.
No, we are, but it's one thing. So
There's like a
man,
Netflix movie that's coming out soon. It takes place in 2003, and everybody that lived in 2003 was like, "That's not what it looks like." And I'm like, "See, this is probably what's held back 2000s nostalgia because the 80s did not look like what 80s nostalgia made it look like."
well, 80s nostalgia is based off just 80s films. Is
Exactly,
always the
yeah.
thing.
And so like 2000s, like this movie that's like
And
based in
am
2003 is
I?
based
You
on
don't want to be.
movies from
Well, here's the thing, you don't
2000s.
want to be 2000s movies because that's all yucky.
A
And
lot
stuff
of
like
it.
that. But no, I just that's not critique. I haven't seen the trailer myself. I just as a 2000s youngin, I've been the 80s been thrown in my face ever since the 2010s, pretty much.
Yep.
I just imagine you, Claude, just like being young, like, oh god, I don't even know what's going. All right, 20 years ago,
Yeah, because I think
decades
the
ago
reason
must have been cool.
I think the
Jeez.
reason I have 80s nostalgia is all the stuff I liked as a kid was a reinvention of something from the 80s. Beast Wars was a Transformers
Right.
reinvention. There was the G.I. Joe stuff in the early 2000s was like reinvigorating the 80s version. Like
Well, that's
Ghostbusters with the,
well, well, that's the thing is like I didn't as a kid I didn't know they were 80s, so I just saw
yeah.
Ninja Turtles and Transformers and all that stuff.
Well,
I
I mean,
just
for me, I didn't even see. My first Ninja Turtles was the '80s cartoon and the '90s movie. So, like,
Mhm.
I was in the '80s nostalgia. I'm in the '80s nostalgia camp for Ninja Turtles because it was late enough.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
No, it's just things where it's like, because that's the thing is like, oh, I didn't like the like. It's not like that's the thing with me with the 80s stuff. Is like I don't like it because it reminds me of the 80s. Because of course not. But it's more of like I just
just
like
like
the
it for
film.
what it is.
Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
what it is. That's the thing I like about it the most. And stuff like that.
Yep.
Like I like Stranger Things not because oh man the 80s is solid. No, I just like the story and characters scenario and such like that.
I don't like Stranger
Um,
Things. I couldn't get into it.
I
yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like,
mean,
the thing I miss the thing about 80s movies that I miss most is not, like, all the 80s-ness of, like, all the humor rating. No, it's the comfiness. Something about
Yeah.
80s films have this kind of comfy feel
It was a
I like
magical
about them.
period of time of filmmaking where your big budget blockbusters were also really good art films. Like Back to the
Yeah,
Future is just a really good movie that also happens to be a blockbuster.
no, like, so, like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite films is, like, Train, Planes, and Automobiles, the vacation movies, and, Tom Hanks is Big.
Yeah.
Those films are very comfy films. Like,
You
there's
know
something
it's a
about,
really
like
cozy movie? American Werewolf in London. Just kidding, it's
mm.
horrifying.
oh, you,
It's and that's why I like I'm looking at my movies I have on my show. Like that's why I still love the first Shazam movie because it
Mhm.
gives me that vibe, that comfy vibe of
And it
that
also
that era
gives you the
film.
horrifying vibe for one scene of the
That
movie.
too, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Kels, you got
That's
any
also
final thoughts on this before we wrap up on Skeleton Crew? I'm excited now.
no, just you got me from not caring to interested. So
I think
Yeah.
that those are why I think that those are why I really am a big fan of the Sonic movie universe. It just gives me that same vibe also.
It gives
oh,
me
Of
the
you
those
get
'90s
that era.
vibe in the Sonic
Yeah,
movies. Yeah.
yeah, that
I
kind of
wish.
cozy bit of edge, but
Mhm.
it's nice and warm and cozy kind of feel I love about them.
Everybody's sharing their childhood stories, and I think that's great. I love it. All right, let's move on to some new stuff here. We got so Marvel has had a weird year, okay, with the MCU. We got Echo, and then we had X-Men 97, which was still a Marvel Studios production. Then Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Agatha. That's like 4 projects, but it has felt like a slow year, right? Because the year prior we had a ton of stuff. And I've been wondering about this because we were talking about this before. Is we had a pileup of shows that were filmed and were in production because Bob Chapek had this insane quota thing going on, and then Bob Iger's like, we need to slow down. But we had all these shows that were like mid production when that came in, so
Yeah,
we've been
I
kind of
mean, movie.
piling them up. And so Marvel's just like, you know what, screw it. We're just gonna make 2025 the Marvel year. Here's all the shows and here's all the dates. Like, let's clean the slate. And I gotta tell you, this sizzle reel is pretty hype. I'm kind of into everything I see here.
I see people say, well, I'm just slowing down, but like part of it's also like one, a lot of issues were delayed to
Yeah.
2025. But also, I don't count the cartoons as part of the same caliber as the live action, not quality, but I'm talking about like, oh, when of course you see this like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I'm like, well, okay, you just separate the cartoons from the live action stuff. It's only like what 4 live action shows or 3?
I think
I think
it's Wonder Man, Daredevil, and Ironheart. There's only 3 shows.
no, it's only 3 shows, so that's kind of 1 show per quarter.
Yeah, and then we got 3 movies that go between them. So
and 3 Marvel Zombies is special, right?
Zombies and Eyes of Wakanda are only 4 episodes each. Like those are
so but still like you got 4 cartoons. Yeah. You got 4 cartoons and one time coming out this year.
It's 3 because What If is this year, yeah. So it's only 3.
Yeah, so you're getting 3 cartoons and one's and so that's not. It really isn't that much. You think if you separate
people look at this like it's crazy, but it's like no. Ironheart's 6 episodes. Spider-Man's we don't know how many Spider-Man is. Daredevil's 9. What If is this year. Zombies is 4. Eyes of Wakanda's 4. And Wonder Man's 10. Last we heard, so like it's not that much show. It's it just sounds like a lot because they're telling us the entire schedule for all of the year at once, which I'm cool with because I'm glad that we now have dates for all these things because a lot of these have been delayed significantly.
Especially Spider-Man.
Especially Spider-Man. Spider-Man actually is not that delayed because Spider-Man was always fall 2024 when they announced it in 2020. I don't know what the hell they announced things way too early. But the thing I think with Marvel right now, and this includes this year's stuff too, it is very much pick what you want, kind of like the comics. Like, are you interested in Daredevil? Watch Daredevil. Are you interested in Wonder Man? Yeah. If you're not, don't watch it. Like, you don't have to watch all these things.
It definitely feels like they're going a lot more self-contained nowadays instead of trying to keep up. I know some people say
all the Disney Plus stuff should be self-contained or connect to other Disney Plus shows. We saw them try to do a movie off the back of 2 Disney Plus shows, and it was like a box office disaster.
Yeah.
I love the Marvels, but that movie did not have wide appeal because 2/3 of its main cast debuted on Disney Plus.
And it's kind of unfortunate they're Color Woman though, so
yeah. So the thing is that you had all that going for it, but the problem with that movie too is to the general public, if they didn't watch Miss Marvel or they didn't watch WandaVision, they feel like they now have to watch homework, or they may not know what those shows are, or they may not have a Disney Plus account and they only watch the movies. Like and this is a thing that we don't talk about enough. It's why would I go out to see those characters on the screen? I can watch them on my TV later when the movie comes on Disney Plus. So, the Marvel movies lately that have made big money have been the ones that feel like events, like Deadpool and Wolverine or Guardians or something like that. So, anyways, I think a bunch of self-contained shows that maybe connect, like, because like Daredevil's going to connect to the previous Daredevil show, but also Echo and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And I think that there's good stuff here. Yeah.
What Wonder Man? I guess actually, do you want to go in order?
I'll just go in order of what's going on because they gave us a little lineup here. So first of all, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming to Disney Plus on November 12th.
Hey, for once, the home media came out the home media came before the Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yep. And then What If Season 3, which will be its last season, will be doing daily episodes beginning December 22nd. They did this last year with Season 2. I enjoyed it. It was like, what's my daily crazy side story for the day?
We're getting mecha action.
We are, and Sam Wilson's the main character of it, and Monica Rambeau's on his team. I'm excited. that episode was made for me. There's also like Cowboy Shang-Chi in there. There's a heavy rumor that Storm is in one of the What If episodes.
Oh boy.
So we'll see as well. All right. So I'm excited for season 3 of What If. I also think it's good that we're ending it there because I think that we have other things we can be doing.
Yep.
All right. So then we have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is coming out January 29th, which we got
finally
like our first official look at.
Which I love you were joking like Peter killed a man.
Peter hit a man with a brick. It's also animated by Polygon Pictures, so let's see how that goes.
I think the animation looks fun because I think some people
don't. The animation reminds me of the Ultimate Spider-Man video game cutscenes, and I'm 100% all in for that.
I think also people don't realize. I think they always said it was gonna be 3D. It's just the concept art. The concept art was concept art, so it looks 2D, of course.
Yep.
I have good faith in this show because it's being written by people who work on the Owl House, and I adore the Owl House, so I can't wait to see.
The talent behind it is pretty good.
I so just love your favorite Spider-Man, Chuck Fricket. You
Yep.
guy.
Blade Raider said, I watched Hawkeye, didn't bother Echo. Let's see how it turns out. Only watch Echo if you're interested in the character of Echo. The only thing that would tie into Daredevil is they had a bit of a tease at the post-credit scene of Echo, was like, Kingpin's like, I'm gonna run for mayor. There you go. Yeah, if you want to watch Echo, watch it because of Echo, not, for like completionism. And also I think you should take a lot of these shows. It's like, do you want to watch a Spider-Man cartoon? I think that's how they should be made, and I think that's how they should be watched, is, do you want to watch a show about this character? And then the answer is yes or no, right? Okay, so then the next up, I think this is going to be the big show of the year. It's just Daredevil Born Again on March 4th.
I do love the scene with Fisk and Matt in the diner.
We can finally talk about it, so
we can finally talk about it because people can see what I've been seeing through cell phone video for like 3 months.
Yep.
It looks fantastic. It looks solid. I do love the Netflix show, but visually that show hit a lot of things behind shadows, and I'm glad to see that the show's still dark, but it's not shadow covered dark. You can see the action, you can see the motion, you can see the faces. It looks great. I think it as long as the writing is strong, which the writing team seems to be, they rewrote this whole thing. It's not a first draft kind of show. It's gone through some heavy rewrites. I can't wait to see this. The thing I'm most excited for is seeing Daredevil using his baton and doing flips and stuff, because he didn't get to do that in the Netflix show.
I just love the idea of like, after like Matt and Fisk like beat the crap out of each other, they just next day go to the diner, like it's like Matt, Fisk, handshake. It's like it's like one burger, please. It's like, and it's like it's like their one truce day.
I think with Daredevil as well, what I do hope they do, which I'm sure they will because they've done this before, is put out a recap video for where they didn't watch the Netflix show, because there's going to be people that just want to jump into Born Again. And you know what? Sounds great.
Last time on Daredevil.
Last time on Daredevil would be great. I would love that. Ironheart, which is coming out June 24th. This is Riri Williams. She was introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The show's premise, I love it. I'm into it. And it's this, like, Riri is one of those characters that has had trouble in the comics because she was a Bendis creation. But
as we all know, once a Bendis character kicks his grass, they become instantly better.
Yes, they really do. He's a good ideas man. He's just, sometimes he can't execute the ideas as well. So with Ironheart, it's basically posing the question of, if somebody was as smart as Tony Stark but didn't have the resources he had, what would they do to get what they wanted to get done? And I think it's fascinating. I think it puts Riri in an interesting space as a character. It's like, she's smart and she knows how to do this stuff, but she doesn't have the money or the resources to do things like what Tony Stark did. And it also does seem that, like, while she's inspired by Tony Stark, she's not like idolizing him.
Well, yeah, that's because I really like Riri's character in Wakanda Forever. I kind of wish she got more time to shine in that movie. I understand why that movie that was all pure Shuri, and that's good. That's better for it. But like, it's like, I feel like we got like a sneak preview of Riri in that film, so I really like we're getting a full series about her.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And because the thing is, at the end of the movie, like,
she lost armor. Did she have to give back the armor?
She had to give back her armor. She made her best armor. She gave back her. She had to give back her armor because it was made of vibranium. And it does seem in this series, Wakanda has cut ties with her. They're not like supporting her on stuff, and she's kind of on her own. And the Hood is the main villain, and he's like a criminal,
The Hood? I didn't know the Hood was the main villain.
I thought Muse.
No, the Muse is the villain of Daredevil.
I thought you were talking about Daredevil still.
No, we're talking about Ironheart. Ironheart's main villain is the Hood. And
why have he turned into a Ghost Rider in this series?
I don't think that would happen because I think the show was filmed like 3 years ago.
My brain just thinking of Red Hood.
Oh yeah. Oh god, they both use guns, like a pair of pistols, and they run criminal empires at some point.
But does Jason turn into a flaming skull?
No, but anyways, the Hood's going to be the villain, and so it does seem like Riri is going to have to work with him to get what she wants. I think it's got some potential. It's got a lot of potential, so I'm hoping it turns out as good. August 6th will be Eyes of Wakanda. It's 4 episodes. I imagine they're going to drop all 4 at once. I can't imagine that being weekly. That's going to explore more of like the lore and lineage of Wakanda. We saw a brief bit of it.
This is specific MCU universe,
Yes,
right?
it is. They said this is the first animated series that is set in the main MCU.
Because what if it's multiverse
Yeah,
stuff?
and same with Spider-Man, and same with X-Men.
Oh, Spider-Man at this point, I think is his own universe.
It is its own universe, yeah. So all the other animated shows have been multiverses, but not the Warner Brothers fighting game. But the Wakanda show is set in the main MCU, but it's going to be about like ancient Wakandan lore and stuff, which I think is neat. Then Marvel Zombies will be dropping October 2025. That's
all one. And that has to be all one because I doubt I was thinking like 4. Yeah, I was thinking 4 episodes. They could do that weekly.
There
but
is 4 Wednesdays in October next year.
Yeah, but it was 25th or so. Yeah, so it has to be all in one go.
Well, no, it's October 2025. We don't have a specific date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It could be weekly.
It could be weekly. I think it could be kind of a fun Halloween event. They did say at one point, I don't know how true this is. They did say at one point, Marvel Zombies was not a sequel to the What If episode, but just like another zombie universe.
I mean, super chat by Mateki. Tony built armor with a box of scraps.
Remember, the Mark 1 armor was a piece of shit, and it fell apart as soon as he escaped that cave.
Also terrorists.
Yes.
Terrorists.
And Riri built an armor in her garage that worked longer and lasted better than the Mark 1. So, there. Sorry. Anytime I can slander Tony Stark, I will. But anyways, Zombies is going to have... the main cast includes Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel. It kind of looks cool. I mean, the animation looks a little bit spicier than What If's animation in the trailer, at least.
It's going to be TVMA. I think it's going to be
TVMA, yeah. And apparently Blade is in there as a Moon Knight.
That sounds cool, but still, it's just so funny because coming at the film got the delay. There's only gonna be everyone Blade.
Yep. Exactly, Andreas. Terrorists literally provided the raw materials in that cave. And then lastly will be Wonder Man in December. And Wonder Man is about Wonder Man, Simon Williams. He's an actor. Ben Kingsley is back as his weird, crazy actor character.
Oh, yeah. So I was about to say, is that? I was curious because I wasn't sure. So that's actual like in-universe footage. That isn't like a behind-the-scenes thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's in-universe footage. Because comics-wise, Wonder Man, Simon Williams he was a supervillain, then he was a stuntman, and then later an actor, like a face actor.
Okay, so I'm Wonder Man's one of those kids I'm super unfamiliar. I wasn't sure when I saw him Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That was like a weirdness. When I saw him as a villain there, I thought like, is that like weird?
That's
is that
how
like
he started, but it was
okay.
Pretty quickly he switched to being a hero, and he joined the Avengers. He was a big part of the West Coast Avengers. Wonder Man is heavily tied into Scarlet and Vision in the comics because he was the when they were fixing Vision. They used Wonder Man's brain implants as like the template for Vision's personality.
I know that because of you. Thanks, Stan.
Yep.
Super chat from Mateki, $2. How many times Wonder Man died in the comics?
Okay, look, I'm a Wonder Man fan because he's on West Coast Avengers, but I don't know that much about him outside of that. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know how many times. That's a good question. It's been a few times. It happened a few times. Sometimes he just vanishes for years at a time too, and you think he's dead.
Also, I think honestly, if they bring back Wonder Man, because I'm not sure what's his status right now, but the Black Wonder Man, I think that's perfect fit. Honestly,
I think what's great about Wonder Man here is Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a great actor, and he keeps getting into projects that end abruptly, and I feel like this one's got legs because you can have the Wonder Man series, kind of like this behind the scenes sort of Hollywood sort of vibe. Then he could show up in other things, like if because they're building a West Coast Avengers team. Like, they keep bringing in elements like White Vision and stuff. Like, they're building West Coast Avengers, and this is an important part of it.
I'm gonna say this is only like a teaser, like a few second teaser, but I really like him. I think honestly, his
personality is shown immediately, right? You can immediately
he has like this guy. He has this like charisma that like it reminds me of Brian Tanner Henry.
Yes.
In his role, a lot of his roles, like, there's just a charisma with them that like it's like I'm sold kind of scenario.
I'm sold. I've been sold on it since they cast him because that is one of my favorite actors in Hollywood right now. And I loved him as Black Manta, and I kind of hate that they sort of kneecapped him in the second Aquaman movie. And so I'm excited to see
Oh
him as
god, yeah,
Wonder Man.
he was fantastic in the first film.
He
I love
was,
him in the
and
first
he
film.
would have been better in the second one if he wasn't like mind controlled for most of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's also funny. Andrea said, as much as Lemon died in Digimon, I know you meant Leomon, but my brain went to 30 Rock. So that's where I'm at. I think this was a great sizzle reel. No X-Men 97. That's going to be 2026. They said they had animation delays. They of course had writing delays because of what happened with the showrunner.
I always figure X-97 season 2 was not
Yeah.
gonna be immediate.
I mean, with how delayed the first season was, there was no way they're getting the second season together in less time.
Because you think usually by the time the first season comes out, season 2 is already being animated in most television productions.
Yeah, but they were in the writing stage because they had to retweak some things. So yeah, but also look how much stuff we're getting next year. Like, we'll get our X-Men after, and X-Men 97, if it needs to take time to be good, I don't mind. Because one of the problems with the original X-Men series, especially in that last season, was the quality drop when they were rushing it. So let's not do that.
Oh man. Yeah. The final episode animation, there's so much animation errors.
Yep.
Like I remember the Captain America episode I was watching. I was thinking, why does this look like a Disney movie, or a Disney like TVA of the '90s era animation?
Because it was the same corner cutting decision making.
Like the way how everything moves looks so weird. Like Logan almost looked like Aladdin to me sometimes, and such. I think watch. I got like announced some kind of X-Men video game next year probably. I'm gonna. I mean, because they're not gonna stop the X-Men hype of this year.
We're gonna get something X-Men next year. It's probably gonna show up in places we don't expect it. And then on top of all this, we're getting Captain America Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, one of which I'm excited about. Fantastic Four.
I say you decide, and then you just.
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm most excited for Fantastic Four. I hope Cap is good. The amount of reshoots is concerning. So Blade Raider brings up an interesting point. It says, I feel the audience may still not be there when X-Men 97 comes back. That also describes many shows now. I agree, but I will say X-Men 97, for as much as it trended, as much as we loved it, never hit the Nielsen top 10 charts. So it was like a hit, but it wasn't like a breakout. Like everybody watched it and now they can't wait for the next season.
Sally, do you think that's because it's a cartoon, quote unquote?
100%. Also, but on the same side, like the Penguin show didn't hit the Nielsen charts. Agatha all along has been jumping in and out of the charts. So like it's not just, an animation thing, but I think because it is animated, it didn't blow up to the general audience. Also, I do think being a continuation of the 90s show, even though it's a perfect jump, fresh start, jump on point, may have dissuaded some people.
It's why
live by nostalgia, die by nostalgia, right?
It's why I think Cosmo. It's why I like the Kineco Man Perfect Forge anime. It didn't like become a big hit because it is a sequel anime to an 80s anime. It's kind of hard to sell that to newcomers.
Me and Wheels talked about that in depth. Yeah, exactly. That's It's hard to sell that to newcomers. Yeah. But the creator's still mad about it.
When it
comes understandable, but
when it comes to new entries and franchises, if that franchise needs to be consistent throughout the decade, and X-Men was in like this long break, like what the last big X-Men movie that people at least kind of glanced at was Apocalypse, really, because I don't think Dark Phoenix was like swiped because of Endgame. So like Apocalypse was like the last. Well, I guess Deadpool too, but I don't count that because that's
Deadpool. Deadpool's not X-Men.
X-Men Pop was I think the last time the general public kind of glanced at the X-Men. And that was like 2016. So it's been many years since.
Yeah,
and such. It's honestly a miracle that the comeback was this hard for X-Men. Honestly.
But anyways, I'm excited for all this stuff. I'm gonna watch all of it because I'm into it. If there was a show, like I wasn't sure if I was gonna watch Zombies, but then I was seeing the animation, I was like, that's kind of fire. I kind of dig it. It looks like it'll be fun.
Like you got Blade plus Moon Knight. That sounds cool.
That sounds right up my alley. But anyways, I think it's time to move on to some Blu-ray news. But I'm excited for. I think out of all of them, though, while I am excited for all of them, I think the one I'm most excited for is Daredevil.
For me, it's Spider-Man because it's nice to have another Spider-Man cartoon for so long.
It's hard. It's hard for me to pick like a favorite of the things that were in that trailer because I thought all of them were good.
I mean, I'm an animation guy, so cartoon is always going to be kind of stump the live action stuff always.
I'm
for
a
me.
Daredevil guy, so and I'm not even like a long time Daredevil guy. I'm like a recent Daredevil guy, so I'm still in my hype bubble of like I really love it, like because I've always liked Daredevil as a character, but I didn't start reading Daredevil comics until Zdarsky started writing them.
Did you ever say your thoughts on the Ben Affleck film? Ever?
No, because the last time I watched the Ben Affleck film was like 20 years ago, and I feel like I need to like watch it again and get a better opinion of it. I just remember liking Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I like Jennifer
because it's Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. Yes. There's not. That's like the ultimate. We all can agree that's fantastic. Thing.
Also, when I watched that movie, which I was a kid watching that movie, when I watched that movie as a kid, I knew Daredevil from the Fantastic Four cartoon and from other shows. I did not read Daredevil comics. Now that I have, and I've read a lot of them now, now I want to go back and look at it like, okay, how is this as an adaptation of Daredevil? Because now I have knowledge to do it with. I just haven't done it yet. I have the Blu-ray. I have the director's cut. Yes, thank you, Dr. Grid.
I would say I really do like Bullseye in that movie. I'm not sure how accurate he is, but he's crazy fun.
I think what I want to do is I think that's a good point, actually. I want to watch Daredevil Season 3, and then I'll watch the movie again, because then I'll be able to compare the bullseyes at that point. So, I definitely want to watch I will definitely watch the director's cut this time, so I saw the theatrical, because I watched it in theaters. Because I watched all the Marvel movies as a kid in theaters, even though I probably shouldn't have seen, like, Ghost Rider when I did, or Daredevil. They were a little mature, PG-13s, but whatever. I turned out fine. Me, the monster freak. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Elektra again too, because I just and you know what? I didn't remember how much I love Jennifer Garner as Elektra until Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think it's one of the things where I think she was a great
cast. It was just the writing.
This is where she was a. Yeah, I think the classic case, perfect casting, like really good casting, not good writing.
Yeah. Dr. Grid, did you see Punisher came out? No. If it was R-rated, my parents wouldn't let me see it, which was good. That was healthy.
Yeah.
It
like
was
my parents were. I'd get nightmares and ask them, "Why'd you let me see this?"
Yeah, like my parents were like, "You can watch PG-13, but you can't see any R movies until you're old enough," and I appreciate them for that, because I think
the closest I got to that was actually does Adult Swim ever air R-rated stuff on Adult
not
Swim
uncensored, because they always had to censor language, which is why when they aired the dub of Dead Man Wonderland, it was the funniest show ever, because they kept having to bleep it every other sentence. Oh, it was so funny.
Which is weird, yeah, but like that's the closest I get to that kind of territory where I wake. It's mostly because I wake up early to go to school, and I actually get a little bit of Adult Swim.
When I was in middle school, I used to watch Adult Swim when I woke up in the morning before school, but they were playing Voltron. So I was watching 80s Voltron.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember as a kid when I actually wake up early, I would catch episodes of Inuyasha, Aruka 7, or like I don't remember what film, but I remember seeing some kind of naked. Like there was a scene where it was like the woman was taking off her clothes and such. It's one of those like vague memories. Yeah, I know. I mean, that was me. So when I saw if I remember the moment of it was the episode in Inuyasha where like Kagome was kidnapped and she was in a bathtub, and or a hot spring, either or. And that was the first time I saw anime boobies. And the second time was Haruka 7. Second time was Haruka 7, where the big titty character had up close of her cleavage when she was sleeping. That was the second time I saw anime boobies.
Okay, let's see. There was a couple comments here I thought was fun. AR said, I gotta admit, I think I'm right there with you as a monster freak after working my way through some of the more iconic movies of the Halloween season. I tell you start watching them, you start liking them, you just keep watching them, you'll just be like, I gotta watch everything with these monsters.
I need to ask Kals. Yes. Kals, how did they air Rama half back in the day? Was that like was that anime only purely on VHS, or did that air on like network television?
It did not air on TV. I remember growing up,
I was wondering,
watching all the tapes. There'd always be advertisements for it. It was one of the ones that took off, because I remember other anime like the Fatal Fury OVA would be like Terry Bogard, or I forget if it was Terry, but it was somebody in it might have been Terry.
Voiced
is by
is that Terry Bogard?
They would actually like hype up the Ranma voice cast being another anime.
That's there was one little comment here that I thought was fun. Let's see. Mr. Doogie said, weirdly enough, I remember the first R-rated film I watched was a version of Shaun of the Dead as a kid with the swearing bleep, but most of the gore intact. Weird in retrospect. So, technically, the first R-rated movie I ever saw was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and this is what happened. So, that movie is mostly clean, except for one scene.
The one scene where Leslie Nielsen does the big...
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, sorry. Yeah, Steve Martin does the big swear.
The big swear rant. So, I had seen the movie many times on the TV broadcast where they just cut that scene. Like, they don't even...
they don't... yeah, because that was before they do, like, dub version. Like, they dub over, like, plus I'm tired of these Monday to Friday nights.
You couldn't even dub over it, right? They just skip the rant with all the language in it. And the movie's clean to watch, like, air on TV otherwise, right? So we'd seen it like that. And then, so my mom bought the DVD, and we were watching the movie at Thanksgiving because we're like, well, why don't we not catch it on TV now? We can just watch it on DVD. And then that happened, and she's like, that's never been in this movie before. It was... She, like, muted the TV and was just like, oh my god. But the first R-rated movie I watched intentionally when I was old enough was Watchmen.
The most, the childhood story of, like, that kind of scenario was Headache and Disney. I remember as a kid, I got the first set of the Orange Bricks for DBZ. And I brought that to my daycare. Because I want to show, like, oh, like, I want to go show, like, look, guys, Dragon Ball, cool. And God, when cha-la, like the opening plays, like the kids will not shut up about the scene in the opening where it zooms into Bulma's cleavage, and everybody's like, "Oh, boobies!" and stuff.
At least you didn't show them the GT opening with naked Goku.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's a childhood memory I remember. It's like, cool.
SSJ4 Jason's first was Jason X. Smith the Crow's first was Starship Troopers. Spin Dash says, I think the first R-rated movie I saw was Spawn, but I recently learned it was PG-13 in theaters, but R on home video. Yep.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was an R cut of that ugly movie.
Yeah. It was on the home video part. Mark H said, Ted was my first R-rated film, and Smith the Crow said, Glory was the first R-rated film I've seen intentionally, and Master Ben said, Punisher, Thomas Jane. I need to watch the Punisher movies at some point.
Good thing it's a Sunday, or else I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay. I can see their parachutes.
Nappa.
All right.
My arm. Don't worry. Just wait till it grows back.
Totally go back.
Blu-ray news, guys. First things first. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 1 is coming to Blu-ray apparently next Tuesday. This is weird, but I have a theory. So this came out on several media sites. Shout out Donna Discs on Twitter. This is all 12 episodes on Blu-ray, no listed bonus features. But this is
also first a Blu-ray.
First of all, Blu-ray. My goodness. It's Paramount though, so we'll see if it actually is in order. It should be. It's in order.
Yeah, but also it's a continuity heavy show. Like each episode goes into each episode.
Could you imagine? It's all mixed up.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare. God.
So it's coming out November 12th. There is no listing. There is no pre-order. I think this is going to be a manufactured on demand release, and it's just going to pop up for sale next Tuesday. So, yeah.
But it's surprised so fast. I mean,
like
maybe.
I was gonna say surprised so fast, but it's about the same pace of Discovery and Knuckles, Star Trek Discovery.
It is also a Paramount show. It's a Paramount Plus show. Let's be honest.
They're like nobody's watching this on Paramount Plus. Let's get some money out of it. So yeah, I'm excited. And the thought I do like is it does say season 1, which gives hope for the season 2 that was originally announced that we hadn't heard if it was happening.
Also future proofing. That's another case.
Yeah. Definitely. Also, guys, there's 3 Punisher movies. There's Punisher with Thomas Jane. There's Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, and there's Punisher with Ray Stevenson.
Was that the one called War Journal?
War
right?
Journal, yeah. Or Warzone. It was Warzone.
Warzone.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
All right. Kamen Rider trilogy from Media Blasters is going to be soon. This is the Kamen Rider trilogy Elite Collection that Media Blasters has been working on for a while. This is a look at it. The booklet and the slipcase will be exclusive to the version that was on their online store that's now sold out. And it will get a standard release that will just be the disc in a normal case at a later date.
Which is good. That's fine. It still had the same content on the disc. I'm happy
Yes.
about that.
They originally were going to make it where the bonus features were only part of this limited set, but they changed their minds, and I'm glad they did.
Which is good. Thank God, because I'm glad they did, because that was a bad move. They did that scenario.
So they got Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, Kamen Rider Zeto, Kamen Rider J, and Kamen Rider World. And then here is a look at the menu, where it will show that we have a commentary track on all 3 of the main movies. So Shin Kamen Rider Prologue's commentary is by Matt Burkett and Kevin Derendorf. Zeto's is Mike Dent and Matt Burkett, and then Jay's is Kevin Derendorf and Mike Dent. So pretty cool. People were concerned about space issues. These movies are short and...
They're short, they're not long.
They're short and not long. I think they're using a Blu-ray 50. Everything will fit fine. It's not going to have any compression issues.
Also, actually, I like the cover on the regular case more than the slip cover, because I mean the front facing is cool, but on something with the side profile looks really cool.
It does. I really do like the way this is shaping up, and I'm excited to get my copy because it's going to be soon. Yeah, like Muteki said, these short movies. I think Shin Kamen Rider Prologue is an hour and 12. Zeto's 40 minutes, and I think Jay's 45. The World is only like 15 minutes.
Zo and Jay, weren't they double feature films with other Toei films?
They were.
Right?
They were triple features. With same with Hakkaider was the same way, where it's like, you would go to the movie theater and you'd see like 3 things from Toei. So it'd be like a Kamen Rider movie, a Sentai movie, and then like a Dragon Ball movie or something. Like that was pretty common. It was just 3 Toei things. So they're not that long. I'm excited, and we're waiting on the first and the next, probably in the next couple years. We'll see how it goes, but this is soon, and I'm excited. All right. Next up, Godzilla Fest has been going on 5 years now, and every year they have a new short that's a live-action short involving Godzilla. And Toho's been really weird about like uploading them, then taking them down, and doing all this other stuff.
So weird, because they have a official Godzilla YouTube channel.
Yeah, but they won't just leave them up. They keep taking them down. So in Japan, all 5 of the short films will be released on a Blu-ray April 16, 2025 for about $40. This was announced during the stream. I think this is great. These shorts don't have that much dialogue. I don't expect it to have subtitles. I probably will buy this because I love these shorts. And I would love to have like a nice Blu-ray.
Like the newest one, it was so great. Salute to Jet Jaguar.
And in a lot of ways felt like the finale to the shorts in general. So I'm excited this is coming out. It's not there's no official outside release. We don't have any details about subtitles or anything. I'll keep you guys updated. Personally speaking, even if it doesn't have subtitles, I'll probably import this one because the price will be low enough. And I love these shorts, and there's like no way we're gonna get it like an English release of this. So
can you do the Jet Jaguar thumbs up?
Oh, sorry, you can't hear it when I do that. You see it on camera.
That's out of there. I love it. Like I love Jet Jaguar's thumbs up because it's not like him. Like it's not like Kuka thumbs up where he does like the bend his arm moves forward. I love Jet Jaguar's thumbs up. He always moves his arm up.
Yes,
like off screen.
It's great. So, anyways, I'm glad these are getting a physical disc release. So, pretty cool. And Muteki, yeah, $40 a lot for 5, but compared to normal Japanese prices, for movies run about $100 and shows can run like $400 or $500. So 40 is great. That's what I'm saying. All right, and then lastly, we're going to talk about the Scream Factory / Shout Factory. What is these? The January solicits, maybe. There's some new Scream Factory, Shout Factory titles. We'll talk about them next week because that's when the full details will be out. But one of them we talked about on yesterday's member stream is The Last Voyage of the Demeter, a movie I haven't seen yet. It's a horror movie that's all about the part in the Dracula story where they're taking him from Transylvania to London, and he gets out on the boat and like kills a bunch of people. They made a whole movie off that one part of the book. And I've never seen it because it's not on any streaming service or anything. And now I'm trying to decide, do I just buy the 4K to watch it because at least then I'll have like the best version of it, or what? I don't know. I want to watch this movie, but I don't know. Like, I kind of want to. I want to kind of like watch it before buying it, but now I'm like, maybe I should buy this 4K of it because at least I'll have a 4K if I hate it. Like. Muteki's just telling me to buy it. I might do it. It'd be better than just buying a Blu-ray because at least it'd be like, well, now it goes into my 4K collection. I'd be all like uppity about it. I don't know. Andrea says, I've seen it. It's a decent for a Halloween watch. That does sound like a good idea. You know what, Muteki? It's a good point. I did buy Infinite Crisis. Have you done a Universal Monsters
mean Final-
guide?
you
I
mean
haven't
Final
yet,
Crisis?
but maybe I will.
Is that Choji pack out yet?
Nope, I'm still waiting on it, but I might just buy the Blu-ray, the single Blu-rays on like Black Friday or something.
You need to make that conclusion video of the spine art. Like
I will.
Like at this point.
I'm kind of waiting for Watchmen Part 2 to drop so I can take a picture off the internet of them because I'm not buying that. I'm not even watching that movie. I'm done. Anyways, I might pick that up then because Andreas is the first person to actually like recommend the movie, and I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody actually said something that's seen it because I don't see anybody talk about that movie. So that's kind of like, that's how it goes. I'm like, I don't know how to feel about a movie. I like to jump in with my own stuff, but I also like to have some kind of guide. AR says, so you don't watch The Watchmen? I do. After the Zack Snyder movie, the motion comic, the actual comic, before Watchmen and Doomsday Clock, the unnecessary prequel and sequel, as well as the really good actual sequel HBO series that I can't recommend enough if you're a fan of the comic. I'm just not really interested in an animated Watchmen adaptation of of the comic, because every time someone tries to adapt the Watchmen comic verbatim to another medium, it doesn't work because that comic works because it's a comic. It's the way Alan Moore wrote it. It's the way Dave Gibbons drew it. It's meant to be a comic. The pacing and the story do not work without it being a comic book. And so I'm
also giant squid.
Also
Wheels.
Giant squid. I'm just at a point where I'm like, I don't want another Watchmen adaptation. I'm only into like Watchmen.
Giant psychic squid.
Giant psychic squid. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to watch the animated movie. I'm like, that's just another not great adaptation of Watchmen.
What about Saturday Morning Watchmen?
That was a funny little gag someone did. And
The Simpsons had the best version of Watchmen. You know what it was?
What was it?
Which one?
Watchmen Babies.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty great.
Just talks to Alan Moore, and he's like, which of the babies is your favorite?
Oh, that's fantastic. What about the live action movie? Yeah, the live action movie was fine. Like I said, it was my first R-rated movie I watched, but and I watched the Ultimate Cut, and I was like, this is fine, but it just
better. It's just long.
It's just better. It's just long, and the ending still is rough. But
didn't you like the animated thing they did for that?
Tales of the Black Freighter, when they did the animated part of that story, the story I really liked. And my favorite part of the live action Watchmen was the in-universe documentary about the Minutemen. Under the hood, like they did an in-universe documentary. That was the cool stuff. And I think it's what it is like when you can do other medium stuff with the Watchmen universe, but the main story really works when it's formatted like a comic book. So that's the stuff. That's Watchmen. All right, Bandai toy news.
What about Watch Women?
What about Watch Women? There's women in Watchmen.
No, we need a whole series. It's called Watch Women,
and it's just all about both Silk Spectres and.
Okay. What was that stupid line in Dark Phoenix?
The women do all the work around here. We should be renamed the team X-Women.
It's like that.
There was a video game that I know this is not Bandai news for everyone tuning in after the chapter markers, and I forget to put this in the appropriate spot, but whatever. There was a canceled video game called X-Women that was just supposed to be like Storm, Jean Grey, and Rogue, and it was like a beat 'em up.
What era?
90s.
Was this like 16-bit era? Yeah.
Yeah. And it never came to be, but I just find it funny that the title X-Women.
No, why didn't come to be? Because Psylocke wasn't listed as one of the playable characters.
You know what? That's how you got your stuff greenlit back in the 90s. You had to put Psylocke.
Psylocke?
Yeah.
See you later, Mr. Finucci. What are you even doing? Psylocke was the 90s. Like literally, she was the 90s.
I mean, look at Marvel vs. Capcom. Every time they did Marvel stuff, like Psylocke was in Marvel superheroes.
I'm still surprised we still haven't got like a new Psylocke with the new Warbird body yet. Honestly,
I have a feeling they're trying to perfect the female body, then make a new Psylocke.
Yeah, but they're also trying to figure out how do we circumvent so much ass into the figure without getting the parents mad.
Look, they haven't released. Jada found a way to release Cammy to retail.
It's true.
So,
that's true.
Hasbro, I know. But I'm just making the joke though. Like they got to figure it out because Hasbro's still seen as we're the toy company for kids, even though Jade is out here like you said with Cammy going ass. You like ass?
Yep. It's that 4+ on the box that Hasbro really shouldn't have. AR said McFarlane. Here's how.
Speaking of things that look rude,
So the new Premium DX Drill Crusher from Kamen Rider Build. I don't know why, but if you wanted 200% more Drill Crusher in your life, here you go. It's now 80 centimeters long.
Did anyone even ask for this?
And can drill you pretty good if you want it to. It also has blowtorch mode or whatever the heck the gun mode was.
It was a gun mode. If I remember, hopefully they succeeded. But the biggest, I remember the original DX toy was pretty horrible because I don't think it had unique sounds no matter where you put the drill.
Yeah, it didn't have sounds. Yeah, that's a good point, Kyle. Why not? This is coming out.
Also, I also keep forgetting there's a quote unquote axe mode in this thing.
Yes, technically, yeah.
Wait, what? What? I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, look at where you attach the drill to the barrel. There's a little blade. That's the axe part of this thing.
Yeah, you can.
I don't remember. I legit forgot that was.
It's without the drill part.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that was like thing they originally wanted to do, or that was like a. I don't know. I remember when the toy
concept.
Yeah, because I remember when the toy was coming out, they advertised like 3 modes or whatever, something like that, where it's like drill, gun, axe, or something like that.
Yeah. Spin Dash
says never used it.
Spin Dash says the DX couldn't tell what mode it was in, and even spun in GUD mode. It shouldn't, and the PDX corrects this. And it's 19,800 yen, 200% bigger. 3 BGMs are included, plus lights and a moving gauge meter. So that's coming.
I guess it's weird because there's no like other build, like there's no build CM yet.
I think the only stuff we got there was PDX. Was there like Evolt got like I think they did high spec belts. That's what it was. They did high spec.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. So Godzilla Day announced that there is going to be a Godzilla versus Digimon color VPET in the future.
Clash of Monsters.
Clash of Monsters. I mean, we already did Monster Hunter, and now we're doing Godzilla. And they previewed this Mecha Godzilla, like, War Greymon mashup thing that I kind of love and appreciate.
So how could transfer against the boot and the stick with the collabs concept stuff?
Yeah, I wonder if it was somebody at Toei signed a bum, or somebody at Takara signed a bum deal, huh?
Yeah.
Remember, Timmy Takara did not want to put in the money.
Yep.
Oh, didn't we make the joke yesterday? Tommy Takara.
Timmy.
Takara,
Tommy, and Timmy Takara.
Yes. Anyways, more details on this coming in the future, but hype.
It does look like the War Greymon Godzilla. Kind of looks like if War Greymon's like other half of his armor like broke off, it's like some kind of like beast mode unleashed mode, something like
that. In the world of
what's funny too is
that was weird.
We had to explain to the Demon Wolf how people. No, we had to explain to the Demon Wolf about that one guy that we always bring up that hates that Digimon went mainstream. He's like, they should have just stayed as Tamagotchi for boys. Ugh.
Oh, I never heard this one. You might have to tell me after stream.
Oh, there's this VPET historian / Tamagotchi historian.
All right, moving on.
It took 2 years.
It took way too damn long to the point where I don't think I care now. It's just how time goes. They finally made Aki from Chainsaw Man to complete your like main crew of three cool people and that one bitch.
Yep.
Anyways,
I surprised him as well. He looks great. I think he looks great.
He looks great. It's funny because
a lot of accessories.
We had this like battle between Figma and Figuarts where Figma would announce it and Figuarts would announce a better one, like right after. Mm-hmm. And Figma announced Aki and Figuarts was like, nah.
No, I mean the Figma Makima's that great figure. I've seen videos of it, but like the Aki looks fantastic. I love he comes with the gum. I love he comes with the gum.
I love he has a cigarette too. I love that they just recreated the shot in the opening where
the dancing. Yes, I love that.
Kyle said finally a man in the Chainsaw Man line. Yeah.
Man line.
I also like this new character with a hand in the pocket tech because we saw it with Shikamaru and you can see it with Aki
they did.
here.
I think because it's a really good evolution because I think the first figure that did that was Sanji, which was weird because the way how they did with Sanji, the Wano Sanji, is you have to like pop out the front part of his hip, then plug in the hand that was attached to the pocket on top of his hip, and then you can plug the hand in. Yeah. That was real awkward. Then
Muteki said, "What about SH Figuarts hit?"
He came out, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He did the pocket thing too. I think he did it before.
I didn't. I didn't. I don't think I've seen videos of how he did, but then I know the next one I saw that did it was Goja from Jujutsu Kaisen, where all it did it's just a hand with like a that's attached to like a front part of the pocket that you just put over the hip joint, and that's so much so much cleaner. And I'm glad they're tingling that tech because it's so much better. I mean, hey, with this Akira coming out, it tells me that I should pick up the Denji and buy a power to replace my broken one.
Do you also want a Katana Man for him to fight?
Yeah, that too, because like that's I only had Chainsaw Man and power for the longest time. My power broke, so I was kind of bitter. But like seeing this Akira legitimately looks great. Makes me want to at least complete the rest of the part 1 cast. Yeah, and such like that.
I need to like re-experience part 1
because part 1, I legitimately think part 1. I do really love part 1.
Part 2,
I think there's and Aki. I think is also like Aki is some of my favorite characters, especially stuff in part 2, and it makes you hate Makima more of what happened. I won't say what happened because spoilers, but like,
yep. And then other Figuarts news. This is just minor, but I thought it was interesting. They finally showed how Daybreak Gotchard swaps between forms with his scarf and his cape and his igniter and how that works. I just thought it was kind of interesting. For those that may have ordered Daybreak Gotchard and was wondering, like, how does the parts breakdown work? They had this little graphic, and I thought it was neat. And I was just like, let me just show that
cape. I hope that cape looks better in person because those kind of look like tissue paper
it
in
does.
this photo.
And I don't know if it's just because of the Akatsuki capes looking great, but like, it just doesn't look
I'm still waiting for a Piccolo with a fabric like a fabric wire cape.
I feel like that's got to be coming soon at some point.
Well, essentially after the Gohan, the Super Saiyan 1 Gohan new release with the wire cape, it makes you go like, please make a Piccolo with. Because I was thinking,
feel like they're gonna do a Daima Piccolo where it's like regular size Piccolo. And
if that's the case, because I might hold off. Because I was thinking, because I had the superhero Piccolo, I was thinking. Because I do want Piccolo cape, but like I'm not a fan how the 2.0 Figuarts Piccolo's cape is handled because it's a bit messy. So like I might wait and see.
I think they're gonna probably do it soon since they just did the. I
still don't understand why the Namekian version didn't have the cape done then. I'm Piccolo of Namek or whatever it was.
Oh
like
yeah,
Goku
that
from Earth.
was. God, which one? I can't keep track of, but yeah,
because the only Piccolos I know that are out right now is the Namekian race on Earth, superhero, and the Namekian race on Earth. The Namekian race on Earth has
the Namekian race from Earth should have had the cloth cape.
I think that was before they started doing cloth. I think that.
Yeah, I think it just missed the cutoff. Like they just started doing cloth capes like right after. But yeah. So you guys ready for some other toy news? There's some other toy news.
Yes.
You guys know that we do that around here. We actually talk about toys and stuff.
Yeah, Piccolo Mini has one, but I'm waiting for like the main full scale Piccolo to have a cloth cape.
I think they'll probably do one because they're just they're redoing Vegeta and Goku.
And 3.0 bodies. So
yeah, I think there'll be another Piccolo. I'm gonna be happy with the superhero, because
I need Piccolo a cape, man. He looks so cool with the cape.
The cape, but I was gonna put I have the first Piccolo figure at the old 1.0.
The old one. Oh,
I want to put him in the cape and just have him stand in the corner all grumpy.
Will it be compatible? I'm not sure that will be compatible.
It's not his. I'm saying like take the 1.0 Piccolo and put him in his cape he came with, his big honking plastic cape, and then just stick him in a corner.
So like he always does.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the cross arms on him. He's got the cape. He's just gonna stand there like a statue and be mad.
So like he always is.
It's like how he always is. All right, let's get through this toy news in 10 minutes. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, this could be quick. Yeah, no, I'm trying to what I'm trying to do right now as well in my own personal collecting is not buy everything. I'm trying to like balance all my stuff out again because I'm like, I should not buy everything, but what if I want to buy everything?
There's that one like YouTube short TikTok where it's like it's like a total call out to like figure collectors where it's like, oh, I just bought one, but then like he needs a friend, so I need to buy him, but he needs someone to fight, so I need to get that, and then I have a few money, I could buy more like that.
It's like when I bought Gotchard because I wanted Majade, and then I was like, well, I might as well get Valvarot then.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. That video is such a rabbit. Yep. So true, and I hate it. But also, like, I laugh because it's so true. I also hate it because it's so true.
All right, Super 7 for Godzilla Day announced some new Godzilla toys. I'm gonna put new in parentheses for a couple of these. But first up, we have Space Godzilla poster version, who looks amazing. Oh, look at Pride Month Space Godzilla here. He looks fantastic.
That's
is he supposed to look?
Is he supposed Masters?
So is he supposed to look like you're looking through like him with dermal?
Yes.
Like
because here's the poster. Here's the poster he's based on, and here's him. Isn't it beautiful? Like they replicated like his...
Pretty much Treadmasters ran with the poster design for this.
Because that's probably what they only had.
Everyone knows growing up.
Because probably one of that's the only material they had of Space Godzilla back in the day, probably.
Yep.
And then like then when the movie came
accurate.
out. Then when the movie came out, right?
Yeah.
They would use clips from the Treadmasters commercials, and I was always wondering why was he so bright blue as a kid.
Mm-hmm. And that's why. I think it looks great. I think this is on Super 7's site, and I think I also saw it on Big Bad. So it's like...
It's on Big Bad.
Yeah, it's on Big Bad. There also is a new color version of the Shogun Warriors Godzilla Ultimates. This is the 7-inch one. That's based on the old Shogun Warriors toy.
That's sick.
Yes, because
he's metallic
people
now.
actually want Shogun Warriors.
Apparently, some people do. I mean, the original one goes for like insane money, right?
They do.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Oh gosh, this gallery doesn't work that way. What is this? Okay, hold on. It's Marusan J-Tail. What is this Marusan J-Tail Godzilla? What is up with him?
Is it? I heard that does a Chia Godzilla for a second.
Nah, he glows in the dark, but like I don't know what he's based on. Wheels, you got any clue? When you need him most, he goes silent.
Yeah. Oh well. Glows in the dark.
Anyways,
he was gone. It's in my burp. Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Jeez, this gallery doesn't work properly. You click next, and it just gives you a random image.
You guys hear me now?
We can hear you. Yeah. What is this? This guy's.
I've been trying to fix the microphone from being auto adjust, but there's something wrong with Windows 11 still.
Okay. Well, what is this Godzilla?
It's
this brown
based
and green
on,
one?
I believe, one of the very early old frickin' vinyls. Because back then, Band Presto made them.
Mm-hmm.
Other companies made them. I don't remember which one. I'm guessing the name is alluding to which company made it, but it looks like one of the old vinyls I remember seeing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly about Marusan most because Band Presto, obviously, and some of the other ones, Papa Neek or whatever, a lot of those still exist, but I don't think that specific brand does anymore.
And then we have Dancing Godzilla from Astro Monster, which is great. I like that. I like that he actually is designed to stand on his tail properly. I keep forgetting the gallery is busted. His actual like tail base is going to hold him up. It's built like Snarf, which I think is perfect.
The only time you ever heard Snarf and Godzilla in the same sentence.
Yep.
Like
And then we have like bright ass vinyl color Ghidorah.
My eyes.
My eyes. And then we have the Mecha Godzilla in the same colors as well. Those aren't glow in the dark. They're just vibrant for funsies. And then I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything for now. So that's pretty cool. All right. Next up, Jakks Pacific, but it's not good news. There's been
this is I guess you under this is under a PSA.
It's under a PSA. People have found bootleg versions of Sonic figures at Ross. Which may also be factory rejects. I don't know.
I think that there's some debate right now. But what it is people are finding Wave 11 Sonic, Wave 11 Knuckles, Wave 10 Amy, and Wave 12 Super Silver at Ross, but they're not the ones you can find in every other retailer. It's either a bootleg, because there are some evidence that it could be bootleg. How like
the card back's the wrong color for one.
Color, yeah, it's the wrong color and the quality of the figures. But there's also a lot of evidence that could be factory rejects. Also, because there's some, how toy production works. There's a lot of signs that it also could be factory rejects. I think the biggest examples are like Knuckles Spring and Silver Silver's Chaos Emerald, because those feel like test molds, where because the toy companies will usually make a test sample of a item before they make the final one. So these could be like batches. It's debated, but like the big thing is the quality is not as good, the paint not as good, and essentially like there's a really good video out there where someone buying these and like the arms are painted. They're not like molded in the plastic.
Yeah,
they're not molded the color.
That's what gives
they're
me bootleg
painted.
vibe, right? Because they're manufactured differently. Like that's what.
It's a weird case because essentially the fact that Ross doesn't usually get like bootleg stuff. They get like official because they're a discount store. They usually
Remember
get
when Amazon
like,
got bootleg
stock.
Dragon Ball Super Blu-rays?
Yeah, so I feel like there might be some kind of scenario, sort of like a scenario where like Ross is getting some kind of bad deal, where it's
a distributor gave them the wrong stuff, possibly.
Yeah, scenario there. So if you go to a Ross and see any of these, don't pick them up because there's a 99% chance they're the bootleg ones. If you're not sure, just do a quick examination on them. If things look off, then it's probably a bootleg problem. A bootleg of it.
Problem.
Yeah, because while Jakks Jakks QC because Jakks and QC is actually pretty damn good for most toy companies, but like the only big QC the only QC like figures will have is like a paint errors, but like they're $10 figures, but they're not like massive paint errors where like usually like these examples also and such. So yeah, there's a PSA for people looking out there. Essentially, like I think the Super Silver is a big one, whereas like because Knuckles of Sonic and Amy you could find easily, but like I know Super Silver was very hard to find with some people. So if you see it, don't go like and grab it right away. Like make sure
take a look and make sure you know what you're buying, right?
I think the biggest easy way to spot is the accessories, thankfully, because like if the Super Silver, guys, super hard to say, Chaos Emerald is like pure clear, then that's clearly the bootleg. And for I'm
also noticing the sticker that says accessory included is like way bigger than normal.
Yeah, and for Knuckles and Sonic, I'm assuming Amy because I haven't seen people who've gotten Amy. Their plastic is shiny plastic, not the matte plastic they should be. So yeah, that's a PSA warning for people who visit Ross's because essentially that's the thing, because I know people have found the classic Amy and classic Metal Sonic at Ross earlier before they appeared in like Walmart and Targets now. So I know why, and so a lot of people are going to Ross to find the Jakks Sonic stuff. So yeah, if you go to a Ross and see this PSA, don't get them because they're not they're not official, maybe.
Yeah,
such.
It's a weird situation, but we wanted to let everybody know. All right, next up, Transformers Leak Watch continues. I don't talk about listings on this channel. But this was something that people have been asking about, and I thought I'd just kind of signal boost. JT Prime, who's on TFW 2005, he's like the listings guy for Transformers. Like he doesn't report on wrong things.
Most time, and a lot of his listings are actually true. A lot of times,
yes. He was the one that told us like certain things that just ended up 100% being true. So there is going to be new deluxe class or Spark figures next year before the next line or whatever shows up. It's going to be Soundwave, Cyberglow, Megatron, Spitfire, and Cosmos. I am very excited about and Spitfire because their Warrior figures are either super hard to find or just don't exist.
Spitfire just going to be a repaint of Twitch, so that's an easy one.
Easy one. And we'll see how she's different from the Warrior version.
The Warrior. Jawbreaker's pretty big improvement fight here, so
yeah,
that's good to hear.
Jawbreaker's great. I have Jawbreaker in Aftermath because I got him on Amazon.
I'm curious how they're gonna do Costa because he's a big boy in the show.
Corey Robinson says, "Wish hashtag." I could see a swerve where hashtag is the ghost truck because the Warrior is the pickup truck.
Don't say that because now you're now making me fear that's gonna be easy. Like that's gonna be a remold of Cyberverse Soundwave mold, and I don't want that.
I'm also worried the Soundwave is just gonna be the Cyberverse Soundwave.
I think that one that's super inaccurate because
so is the Starscream.
Here's the thing, but at least
I can understand. I don't think they canceled it, but remember Prowl? Did they actually? Yeah.
The Hasbro Prowl was
right.
Poor excuse.
That's why we'll have to wait and see what happens.
With the Starscream, that's at least I can understand why they got away with that because it's a similar body, similar ult mode.
Yeah.
It's still not accurate, but I can understand why. But that's a completely different alt mode in the show. That's fully false advertisement 100%.
There. Yeah. We'll see what happens. AR says, how's the R-Spark line? I like the deluxes, and
yeah, I mean,
I
just like
Warrior
Cyberverse, the deluxe,
and that's
just
about
like
it.
just like Cyberverse, the deluxes are definitely. But honestly, I think I like the Cyberverse deluxes still more than the Earthspark one.
I agree.
It feels like they downgraded from the Cyberverse deluxes.
They did.
In terms of quality. I still need. I still get to see season 3 / season 2 part B.
I forgot it came out. Even though
I know. I blame Shadow Generations for taking my time.
Yes.
But also just like I just season 2 just left me so underwhelmed that like
season 2 was so bad I don't want to watch season 3. That's how I feel. Yeah. Because season 3 may be better, but like season 2 was such a disappointment that I'm like
it was seeing like a thing I love turn into something that really is super mediocre, and I don't want to feel that experience again scenario.
Yep. Ready to move on to McFarlane?
Yep.
All right, McFarlane time. It's sold out now, but let's look at this Batman. This is the Detective Comics 587 cover art Batman.
So this is like pure mid to late 90s Batman, right? With the spike shoulder pads. Because I remember people were complaining when the Plastic Man way came out. People were complaining that Batman was super inaccurate because he didn't have the spiky shoulder pads. Well, here it is.
Here it is. Here's your spiky shoulder pads, and also this crazy cloth cape that is wired and like satin looking. He also comes with this gas mask. I've never read this comic. I have no idea what's going on. He also comes with a plastic cape that matches the artwork more naturally.
It's very similar to the year 2.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the year 2 figure they did.
In fact, I think it's the same body mold as the year 2 because it looks very similar.
Is his head on a ball? Is his head connected to the neck or by the neck joint?
I don't know.
Cause I need to take a look at for because the big thing about
the cape swaps out from the whole shoulder spikes up. So you pop the head, you pull the whole cape up, which includes the shoulder piece. Because there's two shoulder pieces here.
So. Let me take a quick look and see what mold this is. Because the biggest tell you could tell it's like the year 2 mold / 3 Jokers mold. If the head connects to the bottom of the neck, so there's no like it's such. Let me look this up.
Let's see. Corey Robinson says, I wonder why it's based off of this one specific comic. Because Todd really likes doing that. He just that's like one of the things that it feels like a Todd thing. Is that he just likes going, let's make a specific comic book cover as an action figure.
The head is connected by the neck joint, so it's not the year 2 mold. It looks like the Nightfall mold, maybe.
That would make some sense.
Looks like a mold by Night.
For context, I'm pulling up the issue here. I'll show the cover it's based on. It's a cool cover. I don't really know what is significant about this issue, though. Ahar says, what are the best Batman figures from McFarlane at the moment? I only really have the
Nightfall mold.
Yeah.
I think the Nightfall mold is one of the best Batman molds they have released. I like the Reaper figure, but he is definitely small. So that might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I think like the Nightfall, either the blue and gray or the black and gray. It's a great like basic Batman. The Dick Grayson one, so it's a really great also.
Here's the it's a Norm Brayfogle cover, which is it's gorgeous. And so that's what it's based on. And then this is what the figure looks like. The bodysuit's a lot darker colored than the comic cover is because the comic cover is using shadows, so it's kind of.
Mateki, what do you mean by movie mold? Because there's multiple movie molds.
There's mold, yeah. There's like every movie Batman's a different mold. They don't.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which one you specifically mean.
I like all the movie Batman molds though. They're fine. All right, moving on. We have a Shazam finally. He's going to be in the Page Punchers line, which comes with the comic. And it's a Donna DC version.
He looks great because I'm glad that he's not gonna be a compared to the Rebirth one, which was like Walmart exclusive. And I think it was like,
and that one had the detached like 3D logo thing that looked awful, where it was like only attached to the top half of his chest.
Yeah, this looks like using like the generic like classic hero mold they've been using since like the Blue Beetle mold. I like to jokingly call it. He has the wire cape, which looks fantastic. And I like my squinty eye. I like my squinty eye Shazam. So he looks great.
Yeah, he's very classic looking. He goes up for pre-order November 8th, and he'll include a comic book. Also in this Page Punchers wave,
it should be. It should be Shazam, Don DC Shazam #1 because the Page Puncher line now changed from exclusive comics to just the regular comics that cares from.
Muteki says, are Page Punters different from DC Multiverse in terms of articulation
No,
size?
same line.
Not usually, no, except for this one figure I just put up. This is the Red Hood from the Batman Adventures Continue comic. This is a reissue of the DC Direct mold where they made the figure in the animated line. It's still the same size and scale as the animated one. It's just now in Page Punchers, and I imagine will come with the comic that he debuted in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I understand. Yeah, it's one of these where like I understand why this is under the Page Puncher line because it's a comic figure technically, so it makes sense.
It makes sense. And then lastly is this weird shaded Superman. It's the Christopher Reeve movie Superman with comic shading that does not look like the comic art inside the book at all. But it comes with Superman 78.
Here's my problem with this figure. My problem with the figure is like I don't mind like comic shade Superman, but I hate how inconsistent the shading is because I hate how it just cuts off like under like.
It's the same exact issue I had when Hasbro did the animated shaded X-Men figures. They all had the same exact issue. Like, where's the light source that's casting that shadow?
Which is I think like the black and white like shaded ink figures they do.
Yeah.
I think they look fantastic. I think because they looks like they know what light source they're doing from here. Like what light source are they coming from? And like especially how it's so obvious because the torso gets cut off. Like it goes from leg to stomach to and
then like
and such as that.
The arm shadow cuts off at the elbow.
Yeah, it doesn't look great,
but it's another use of that mold. And then Marvel time.
Marvel baby.
Legends. Okay, so first of all, Luca Comic and Game Show was in Italy this last week.
I didn't even know that was a con.
I didn't even know Hasbro was going to it. I knew it existed. So they announced. This is funny. They went to London and announced a Captain America wave. They went to Italy and announced a Captain America A-level reissue.
It's so funny. It's like you think that Mr. America would be announced in America.
Yeah, I know it's so funny. But this is the Avengers Endgame Captain America mold that was previously Walmart exclusive. It's coming out again. It's got a clean shield this time, unmasked and masked heads, and then 2 extra hands. Yeah, the older releases had... You know, actually, I have one problem with the hand lineup. There's no gripping hands, so you can't have him throw the shield. It's just fists and then flat and then a pointing. These are just meant to come out again for people that want something easy and...
Some people on our server got so pissy about it. I'm like, dude, calm down.
Because it's not a re-release of that figure; it's a redo.
Well, no, because the purpose of the A-level figures is they're not meant to be just re-releases. They're just meant to be for people who like the movies. Like that's the goal.
These are just meant to be in Walmart and Target for someone to buy on a whim. That's not for the.
Yeah, I like.
Essentially, they're not for us.
Yeah, they're meant for super casuals.
Being said, I have no idea why we're re-releasing the upgraded suit Spider-Man. Like this is the most reissued figure in Marvel Legends at this point.
I mean, I think you need to answer your own question. It's Spider-Man.
It's
no matter what.
I just think what's funny is that this is the Spider-Man from the MCU they've reissued the most, not the red and blue, but the red and black. I love this suit. It's my favorite MCU Spider-Man suit. That's not the final swing.
I think because the red and blue mold is pretty outdated.
This is mostly that same mold. They're not. They share parts.
I remember I think it's a new scope because I remember the No Way Home. The Homecoming mold.
Yeah,
it had wacky proportions. It looked like it didn't look. It looked like a cartoon character. Which honestly, because I think they reused that mold for the Zombie Hunter.
They did, yeah.
Spider-Man. I think.
You know what?
And that makes that.
In a way, it's kind of like use this mold, upgrade the Homecoming because that's the more classic look they use for like evergreen stuff.
Yeah, I think they should just repaint this figure to be Homecoming because the problem with the Homecoming figures is he just looked a bit like weirdly proportionate and such like that. So like I think they need to eventually just repaint the figure to the blue and red from Homecoming because I think that's the only difference between the two suits, right? Is just the color.
Pretty much. I think the arms are slightly different, but you just swap the arms out.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Benjamin says, you think they would want A-level toys be pinless? Nah, because the thing is, with Transformers, A-level is like a brand new figure that we want to have always available, like Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. Whereas A-level at Marvel Legends is just like, and here's a figure. Again, it happened with both A-level waves from this past year. So
yeah, they're meant for like, do you like Iron Man from the MCU? Pick up this, pick up.
But
this,
it's also meant to save the Marvel team development costs so they can use it for other things.
Yeah, no, it's these don't waste a slot. These don't waste any money. These don't.
I don't even number A-level as waves in my spreadsheet. They're a separate thing.
Yeah, they're just purely
they're the same thing as those international reissues where they basically like in Europe and stuff they'd release MCU characters without Build-A-Figure parts.
The best of Marvel Legends.
Best of Marvel Legends, yeah. It's kind of like those.
Yeah, they're like the Funko Pops of Marvel Legends. They are not meant for like they're not meant for like die-hard like collectors.
Because average person buying a Spider-Man action figure is not going to complain about or worry about any of the things we worry about.
Also, like they don't want to worry about like leftover limbs or anything like that. Also, of Build-A-Figures and such.
All right. Then they announced the greatest Marvel Legends release of all time, Fabian Cortez. Fabian Cortez was never on my want list. He wasn't in my top 100 figures I want from Marvel Legends, but I'll 100% buy him because I never thought they'd actually make him. This is one of the most generic 90s villain X characters you could get, and I can't wait.
Yeah, until you mentioned him in the Discord, I did who? Who are you?
He's such a nobody that he showed up in 3 episodes of the 90s cartoon, and he didn't even make an impact.
He was in the cartoon, he was.
It was during the Asteroid M stuff, because he's an acolyte of Magneto.
That's the only reason I remember his name.
Yeah.
Was he the guy that betrayed Magneto in that arc?
Yeah.
Or no? Okay, because then I remember him, but like he's such a footnote in the whole series that like I just forgot he was.
It's like making Sabretooth's henchman who's only known because she's a move in Marvel vs. Capcom as a figure.
Birdie.
Birdie, yeah. Like it's like making Birdie.
Yeah, boss.
I want a Birdie figure. Anyway.
I love that Street Fighter character.
So just they did confirm he does have the ponytail. It just isn't visible in the shot here. I can't wait. It does scream to me, though, that he's not a single release. He's going to be in a multi-pack.
Because, again, who?
Yeah. And then the other figure was the Spot from the end Across the Spider-Verse after he absorbed all that stuff and had all the weird color things.
I commend the team that has the Marvel Legends team trying to make this figure, but this is a design that's super... Because he's always changing. Yeah. Like, he's literally like a living scribble. So, like, I commend him trying, but I don't think he looks that great because, again, it's really hard to
I like that they did make him clear black plastic, though. I think that was a good choice.
Oh, he's clear. I thought he was just black plastic.
Yeah, no, he's actually clear. You can see the joints if you zoom in on him. I can zoom in on him on the stream, actually. Oh, I like Paul Tracks. No one will know I made my costume from the Lost and Found section. Yep, that's Fabian Cortez for you. Yeah, you can see how close can we zoom in? You can see his wrist joint there. He's transparent black plastic on top of a black background. So he's just looking.
But it does. I did saw someone comment where it does kind of look like oops, my little brother got to my figure and drew over him the figure.
Totally does. Let me see if I can find there's a really cool frame from Across the Spider-Verse. That the Spot black. It looks so cool in the movie, but it does not translate. Here it is.
It's one of those like the films and medium to make him, but like how do you make a figure of that design?
Oh god, I ended up on Reddit. Oh no. Okay. I'll just go from here. Here is the frame from the movie, right there, and the environment really helps the design too. It's accurate to the Spot part of this, but the rest of everything going on really is what kind of makes it work. But I'm glad they at least tried, and also that Spot mold's not going to get used for anything else.
Also, I guess I guess this is officially a Dark Spot.
Yep. So there we go. Pretty cool. And then lastly, for Marvel Legends this week, we got another shot of the Moonstone Warbird figure for Dark Avengers. This is the physical shot. We had a digital render before. It is using a mix of parts from the Warbird mold, but also the Jean Grey Phoenix mold.
Oh, they had I thought they were straight repaints of each other.
It's not because, and I didn't notice this until Robo Don't Know pointed it out. The Target Warbird, she has the thigh-high boots. So,
Oh yeah,
and those are
yeah.
molded. So she has but it does seem like she has like the torso and the legs of the Jean Grey Phoenix instead, the one from the deluxe set instead of.
Like, so is Jean more ripped than Carol?
Yes.
Then
according to the way they sculpted them, yes.
you
Moonstone is
think
more
that'd
ripped
be the
than
other way
Carol. Yeah.
you think that'd be the other way around for Jean and Carol?
Yeah, you'd think. And then here's another shot of her with some energy effect she comes with in the same damn hands that I'm so tired of. This is the outfit I was using her Mightiest Heroes robot.
Did she come with the same heads as the Target Carol?
I don't know, because is this two different heads? Did I close that other tab too soon? I am trying to figure out the head situation, because we haven't gotten a full accessory list yet. These are the same
because
head.
the flowing hair is the base head on the Target Carol.
She might come with the classic head that the Target Carol had, so we can have just a Carol instead of just a Moonstone. But the big news is that she will be going up for pre-order this Thursday as a fan channel exclusive, so she'll be at every online retailer. So we'll know her full accessories in a couple days, and I will report back, because this has been Carol Watch 2024. And that's the toy news. We're going to update the MCU tier list as my final thing, which shows that I think I'm only the only one that watched, maybe. We'll find out.
Then I gotta go do things.
Yep. Cass, did you watch Punisher, the series?
Which Punisher?
The Netflix series?
Oh, the Netflix one? Yeah, the first.
Cool. We can talk about the first season then. All right. So
well, you guys do that, because I have to. I think I have to head out now because I have work stuff to do tomorrow. So
so do I.
Promote yourself.
we had jobs.
Yeah, go promote yourself, Brian.
So, you can follow me at Darko64G on YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Sky. You want any art commissions like the one you see this very channel? Feel free to DM me on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Soundout12 Discord protocol. The link in the description below. Anyways, have a nice night, everyone.
See ya, Ryan. Thanks for being here. All right. Kaus, you want to stick around and talk about Punisher?
Oh yeah, if you need any. I remember a lot of. I remember liking the first season
because you're a Punisher fan watching the show.
I am. He's one of my top 3. Yeah.
I was not a Punisher fan until I watched the show. So let me pop this up here. So our MCU tier list update, just so everybody knows, my tier list is personal opinion based, and it is incredibly top loaded because I find that most of these movies and shows are.
You know what I think works with Punisher? This Netflix Punisher is after watching Daredevil and watching it.
Yes. I think that was what got me to want to watch it, was because I thought he was great in Daredevil. And I was like, oh, I'm curious to see how this will be. I'm not a big Punisher guy, right? I'm not a huge Punisher fan. But what I liked about the show was it was a character study of Frank Castle and like how he feels and how he acts and why he does the things he does. And I found that compelling. It was very slow. I will give it.
The comment shows just said it was boring. It is slow, but I liked it because that's what I like about Punisher. People are like, oh, you just like him for killing me. Like, no, I like him because he's got a lot of depth to him. If you let him.
And as a Ghost Rider fan, I totally get that. You know,
yeah.
People are always like, oh, it's just about flaming skulls and motorcycles. Like, no, it's about the heart of the tortured soul of the character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frank saw some things, man. That's.
And I love that they dealt with that. You know, they actually dealt with like his PTSD, and they dealt with, you know, what effects everything he went through went on him. And I think that's what kind of endeared me to the character, especially John Barenthal's performance as the character is so good.
Yes.
Yeah, like he's so good in the part that I'm like, you know, I actually can say I think I like the Punisher now.
Those things with a shotgun in that show.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this one. I think because of how slow it is, I'm gonna put it in high B. Because it did take me a while to get through it because the episodes were all like a solid hour each, and there was 13 of them. Where do I want to put this? It's definitely up here. I almost want to put it in A, but I think the pace is kind of what puts it in B. Because it's
one of those things where, like, even as a fan, I'm like, no, I agree. Like, no, I see where you come from.
The question is, do I put it above season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or do I put it? Is that season 1? No, that's not. That's season 4. God, I forgot. I wish I labeled these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. posters with the numbers on them. Oh, that's season 5, actually. No, is that 4 or 3? No, it's 3. Okay. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm gonna put it right here between. I'm gonna put it above Agents of Shield season whatever that is. It can't be 4. 4's the Ghost Rider one. That's 3. I'm gonna put it above Agents of Shield season 3, below Falcon and Winter Soldier. That feels about right. Okay, so then I just finished watching Jessica Jones season 2 last night. I was really curious how this show would handle not having David Tennant as Kilgrave as like the villain because he was so good. And they decided, you know what? Let's just dive right into Jessica Jones's like life and history and why she's so messed up and give her like so much soap opera drama that it kept me compelled when I wasn't sure if I would be. I actually really liked season 2. I actually think I was able to watch quicker. I'm going to put it right above season 1. I think it was actually a little bit stronger from a character perspective. I think that you had a better villain in the form of Kilgrave in season 1, but I think that everybody's character drama was more interesting in season 2. Does that make sense? Does those words make sense?
I see.
Yeah. It was also really sad at the end. I felt sad. And it was I was like, it hit me emotionally.
At the beginning too.
Yeah, Jessica Jones it's a solid show, but it is very heavy with a lot of stuff. It's not as heavy as Punisher. Punisher's definitely heavier, but it's just different subject matter. But it's a lot darker than Daredevil. I found Daredevil's like a little bit like more digestible, right?
Daredevil is definitely
I think that's why that's the one that everyone was asking to come back.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the one that's more wide appeal, honestly.
Yeah, I think so because it I think Jessica Jones is a stronger show, but I think it's not as easy to watch as Daredevil.
Boy.
That's the rumor, Muteki, is that Jessica will be back in Daredevil Born Again season 2. And I hope that's the case, because I think Kristen Ritter's fantastic. She's so good. There was a lot of great emotional scenes in season 2 where I was just like, why did you not win an Emmy for this? This is fantastic stuff. And okay, so I haven't watched Runaways or Cloak and Dagger yet. I still need to watch Luke Cage season 2, Iron Fist season 2, Daredevil season 3, Punisher season 2, and Jessica Jones season 3 before March 4th.
Wait, which ones you haven't watched? Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I haven't watched any Runaways or Cloak and Dagger, and
I saw Cloak and Dagger and I saw Iron Fist too.
Yeah, I need to see the second season of Iron Fist because I didn't like the first. I need to see second season. So the second season of Luke Cage is next on my watching order because I'm watching them in the order they released.
I didn't finish Luke Cage season 2.
I think it might have the same issue of like the villain in season 1 was so good with Mahershala Ali. Yeah.
That's how I felt watching when I watched the first episode. I'm like, this guy ain't as cool.
Yep. So I still gotta watch those, but Agatha All Along wrapped up, airing, and you know that old phrase of like, who asked for this, right? I gotta tell you, the MCU sometimes takes a who asked for this and makes it really compelling television, and that was Agatha All Along. I didn't think we needed an Agatha Harkness show, but they were like, you know what? It's going to be a witches show, and everybody's going to be witches, and there's magic, and they're going to do spells, and they're going to be trapped on the witches' road, which is basically an escape room situation, and then we're going to wrap in all this like kind of crazy lore and layered storytelling, and the final episode was so good that it not only kind of broke the Disney Plus bad finale curse, but it actually recontextualized the entire series, and now I want to watch it again because now I understand the truth behind things, and it completely changes how I see everything that happened in the show. And I got to give that a lot of credit to a show that, again, nobody really asked for, right? It's kind of it's like one of those classic, like you make it and then invite people to come along with you on the journey, and then if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't, right? But now I don't know where to rank it. Where did I rank WandaVision? I ranked WandaVision in A. I think Agatha's definitely an A category. I also do really like witches and magic stuff. So I do really like it. Muteki, you would like Agatha for all the reasons that you said you like other things, like the bad guy and Runaways and stuff. I will say the Agatha series is probably the steamiest Disney Plus Marvel show so far. And it's like nobody has sex in that show, but everybody is sexy in that show. It's amazing. Yeah, I forgot somebody reviewed the first episode or first couple episodes, and they were like, "I've never seen so much cleavage on Disney Plus, especially episode 4." And one of the main characters in the show's Aubrey Plaza is playing her, and it's one of those things where it's like Aubrey Plaza does stuff, and I'm like, technically I shouldn't like that you did this, but you're Aubrey Plaza, so it's fine. It's kind of like Legion in that way. The show's not the same as Legion, but Aubrey Plaza being like doing bad stuff, but you kind of forgive her anyways because she's Aubrey Plaza. That's like kind of what happens. I don't know where to rank Agatha though.
Oh no.
And I don't know where to rank. I know it's an A. I know the show's an A because I loved it, but I don't know where in A. Right? Do I rank it above? Like, how much above WandaVision do I rank it? Because I thought with Agatha, because WandaVision has a very typical MCU final battle finale, whereas like Agatha didn't do that, and I just really like that part of it. That like the finale is different. I could put it just right above WandaVision, kind of like I have the 2 seasons of Agent Carter like next to each other. But I do think it was stronger than Echo. But do I think it's stronger than Daredevil? Probably not. I think it's probably where I'd put it.
Below Daredevil, for sure.
I think, right below Daredevil Season 1. Because I ranked Daredevil Season 2 a little bit lower. Because it was kind of a mess. There's like a lot going on.
I liked it, but yeah, I know you're right.
I'll put it above Echo. I actually might move Echo down a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of need to rewatch that show. I might rewatch Echo as like my catch up point before Daredevil, but I think it's definitely below Daredevil Season 1. I think it's definitely above Echo though, because I think it was stronger.
Glad to hear Agatha's actually good.
It was.
So many people talking about it.
It is one of those things too that it's much like some of the other shows that are coming up. It's like, if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you don't need to watch it if you're not into it, right? It's not like, it's not like an essential piece of the puzzle, right? But if you're in for a show about witches set in the MCU, it's got witches set in the MCU. It's got Aubrey Plaza and Patti LuPone's in it, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think that's the MCU tier list for now, though. I have to start binging some shows so I can get ready for Daredevil.
You're a show.
What?
I don't know.
I'm a show now. I am a show. This is what we're doing right now. We're doing my show. Yeah, I think I'm trying to decide if I want to adjust the tier list at all, but I kind of feel pretty good about it at the moment.
I know how we adjust the tier list. There's a quick way to do that.
What?
Delete it.
No.
All that work gone. Woo!
I mean, we've been building this for like over a year, just like checking in, being like, let's add.
So you haven't seen Cloak and Dagger and Iron Fist 2,
right? My current plan is
funny because Cloak and Dagger is like one of those weird sleeper hits where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this show, and then I really enjoyed the fuck out of it.
I was the opposite. I was like, I'm gonna like, and I was like, no.
I was like so hype. It was so cool.
My plan is once I'm gonna finish all the Defenders stuff, and then I'll go back and watch Runaways and Cloak and Dagger.
I like how it's better than most of the Netflix shows.
Yeah, I found that the Netflix shows people talked about less, like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, were actually stronger.
Luke Cage's problem is it starts off good and then goes to shit.
Yeah, that's like first season was solid, but I haven't seen season 2 yet. But
no, I mean the first season. The problem with the first season is the show has like a really good start in the first season, like the first couple of episodes, and then it just kind of meanders. It's kind of like. It's kind of like the problem with Daredevil.
That's a problem with all the Netflix shows because they all should have been 10 episodes, not 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all too long. All of them. So I have to kind of I had to go all right, removing the fact that all these shows could be 3 episodes shorter and totally be fine. That's where I rank them that way.
Yeah, because it dragged too hard. And I was just like, man, I can't handle this. I will say,
for me, Luke Cage dragged less than Daredevil Season 2, which is what I watched.
I think, and the other thing I hate is that every street-level hero had to be, like, some kind of detective, so it just felt like they were just copying the last show, so it didn't feel original.
That's the problem with Iron Fist, is they're trying to, it works for Daredevil and it works for Jessica Jones. It doesn't work as well for Luke Cage, but they kind of shifted detective duties to Misty Knight.
Because Luke Cage is supposed to be he's essentially supposed to be Shaft.
Yeah, but he's moved on from that in the modern day, so it's fine. But the thing is that
I know he's moved on, but I'm saying his origin is just
Luke Cage
Shaft.
doesn't do the investigating in the show. Misty Knight does, and that's the problem with Iron Fist. Iron Fist tried to follow the formula that doesn't work for Iron Fist, and that's why Iron Fist is down here in F, because I didn't like it. It was a slog. I couldn't get through it. I finished it, but it was rough. Yeah, but I do still really like season 1 of Luke Cage, because like all of them, it dipped a bit in the middle, but I felt like it picked up at the end. But I need to see season 2 and see how that may change things. But I don't know. I might readjust all this at some point. So we'll see. I'm trying to look at it now. I'm like, is there anything I want to adjust now? But I'm kind of like, this is fine for now.
Still need to watch The Runaways, but I heard that show was decent, but it was screwed over big time by the network and the streaming service.
Yeah. I do know they did do a crossover with Cloak and Dagger in season 3.
Yeah, but the funniest part is though, their crossover is so tangential. You don't even need to watch Cloak and Dagger to know anything about. It was one of those really bad. It's kind of like the first.
Was that
it's kind of like the first Supergirl
Cloak and Dagger was a mature show and Runaways was a TV-14?
They were both TV-14 because one aired on Freeform and the other one just aired on Hulu. And they did address a lot of mature stuff, especially I think in season 2 with the human trafficking and stuff like that. But
but Black Lightning did that on CW.
I don't know. I don't know what was the issue there.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, I do know Runaways looks a lot more like you said, a light TV-14. Maybe that's why it looks very plucky versus Cloak and Dagger. Maybe.
I always felt that Runaways was T and Cloak and Dagger was T+.
Probably that's why.
Muteki says you want to add the Fox films. I do not want to add the Fox films, ranking them against the MCU, because that'll just fill up our D tier immediately.
No. X-Men, at least the first X-Men movie and First Class would be at least in the Bs.
They would be, yeah. It's just a lot of it would end up in D, and C, and because if I'm looking at comparing these to these, same with some of the Sony movies.
And the first Fantastic Four movie's in A. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, those are both in A, but that's because it's my team.
I mean, Rise of the Silver Surfer is more of a B, but
it is. I would put it in C even. Just to.
Oh, really?
I like it.
Okay.
But the Doctor Doom stuff is always the problem. The only problem with those two movies I have is the Doctor Doom stuff. And
funny,
I
like the
Rise
actor,
of the Silver Surfer extra whitewashing Jessica Alba more than Hollywood already was. She just looks like she looks like she's made of plastic in Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's too much damn makeup. But
but that was the problem. But that's the problem with Jessica Alba during that era.
Yeah, because all of her agents were like, "You're not Latina, you're white." They kept making her wear blue contacts and dyeing her hair blonde, and she's like, "This isn't me. What are you doing to me?" I feel bad for Jessica Alba. Hollywood did a number on her because they were like, "You can't be Latina. That won't sell tickets."
It sold my ticket.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, is Hollywood's dumb. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to compare.
Why do you think Salma Hayek still makes money?
Salma Hayek was one of the reasons I went to Eternals.
That's a shame.
I know.
You're the problem.
She was only there in 5 minutes, man.
You're the problem.
I am the problem. I watch all this stuff regardless. I don't have self-control. But look, I'm almost done. I just got to watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more seasons of streaming TV, and I'll have seen it all.
Hey, go retweet the tweet you liked. You got to retweet. You're on it.
I did retweet
You're in it. You're hosting it. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Remember, Twitter's broken. Okay. It doesn't show you that I retweet. Anyways, Eternals.
I'll believe you for now.
Eternals is in B, Muteki. Eternals is smack dab in the middle because that's exactly how I feel about that movie. It's smack dab in the middle. I'm trying to decide though. Some of this stuff might move down. I have too much in A. I like too much stuff. I think Hulk needs to move to D. Just kidding. I actually really like Hulk.
Which Hulk movie? Which Hulk?
The MCU one. There's only been one. It's only one MCU Hulk movie.
What are you talking about? There's two.
No, there isn't.
It's slightly not canon.
No, it's not even close to not canon. Like,
Hey! I still consider it slightly canon.
How? They have absolutely nothing connecting them. They don't have the same origin. They don't have the same character dynamics. They don't have the same. There's nothing connecting those two Hulk movies besides Universal made them.
Exactly, and that's where we're going with this.
Then that means the Hulk TV show gets in an automatic pass.
Exactly, and I still want there to be an MCU thing with the multiverse where Lou Ferrigno shows up as the Incredible Hulk, but now he's smart and sophisticated and acts like Bixby. I would love to see that. Yeah. Oh, I still want it. I've been pitching that for years.
Why don't you have an E tier? Because I'm working off the American education system where we didn't use E for some reason. Why was that? They're just like A, B, C, D, and then you.
Okay, so E. So like, if I recall, E used to be a part of it, but they thought it was frivolous.
I mean, yeah. What really is the difference between E and F at that point, right?
Exactly. Still failing.
Yeah.
By the standard.
Well, he's F, failing. E, what are you gonna say? You're E-ailing?
Like, E for effort, man. E for effort.
Yep.
Dark Cart E-art. I don't see a problem with that name.
Yeah. I think the next time we do this tier list, I'm gonna move some stuff from A into B, but we'll do that later. I can't think of doing it now. Why do you have an S tier then? Because I work off the Japanese ranking system in video games.
It's hilarious how Japanese people were even asking themselves, how did the S start?
Yeah.
They were like, wait, we invented that? It's like, I saw some people.
Yep. I mean,
I don't understand why. Like, I just always understood that as like the way they the theory that I heard they invented it was because they wanted to they didn't know that like Omega is seen in like the rest of the world, like there's Alpha then Omega in that mindset, so like they just went with S for some reason.
The reason I use S in this tier list is because I want to have an ongoing top 10, and that's just going to sit up here in S. This is always going to be 10, whatever it is. And then I don't really see a neat reason for E. I only have 2 things in D, and then I have 5 things in F. Like I haven't found enough crap yet that needs to fill up an E tier as well. I do need to unload this A. I think Defenders is dropping to B. Defenders is dropping to B. I don't know why. Agent Carter
I just imagine Soundout saying, "I need to unload this A." You see him like start unbuckling his pants, walking away, as like you see his pants slightly like torqued down as he's leaving.
I would never do that. Will. What the hell?
No, like we don't see you. We don't actually see you take the crap. It's like we just see you unbuckling your pants, walking.
Iron Man's moving to B just for that. I'm just trying to unload A's. Okay, now it looks a little bit more balanced. Now. It's better.
I heard you say Agent Carter. I still love how like people who like are like, yeah, Agent Carter's great, and I'm like, did you see that first season though? It was like really slow, and then that season 2 was just like home run, man.
I know.
Oh, right? I love that season 2.
Do I have these
like
backwards?
Keith Justice is one of those guys where he's always telling people season 1's the best, and we're all like looking at him like side-eyed, like, what are you on? What the hell are you smoking?
Season 1 was a good start. Season 2 built off of it great.
Exactly. It did what season 1 couldn't do.
We deserved a season 3. I'm gonna drop Hulk to B. Yeah, it's happened.
I love though how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were like, yo, so we got told what happens in Endgame, so we gotta go fix Sousa's storyline.
They had no idea.
Oh, really?
They didn't know. They did not get told anything. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. team, the reason why they shifted the whole entire universe into the whole reason why season 6 and 7 are in a different universe because of the events of season 5 is because Marvel Studios would not tell the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. team anything that was going to happen in Infinity War or Endgame. They wouldn't give them any detail whatsoever, and so they said, "Fine, we're going out," and they just shifted themselves to a new universe.
Because the funny thing is, I love how they were able to save Sousa's character.
Yeah, but literally, season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being a time travel like time heist thing, the way the end game was absolute pure coincidence.
Also,
they weren't told
Jerry, what were you
anything.
saying? I couldn't hear you. You're like coming in low on my side. I don't know why.
Yeah, what did Cal say?
You don't hear me? I was trying to
You're
ask.
you're talking like when Ryan's here.
Let me.
Chat was asking
if
you got Inhumans. What did you rate it?
Oh, F. I absolutely did not like that.
So here's the funny thing about Inhumans. The first 2 episodes are all right. The rest of the show is shit.
The first half of the first episode is the only good part of the show. Because it just gets stupid.
I watched when they aired it as like I watched it when they aired it as like a 2-episode Friday night movie.
Yep. They aired those first 2 episodes in IMAX with more confidence than I've ever seen out of anything. Like, no, it did not look that good. Yeah, no, as soon as they cut Medusa's hair, that show's just done. It's like, what are you even doing? Like,
they're like, hey, do you like a bald Zatanna? And I was like, no, thank you.
They were like, we don't have the money to make this Inhuman show, so we're just gonna cut corners physically. Like, I was just like, what are we doing? Like, seriously. It was so bad. It was so bad. Just as bad as Iron Fist, just as bad as Love and Thunder, just as bad as Quantum Mania, just as bad as Secret Invasion. I don't like any of them. Suck. Awful.
I'm glad like you, because like I thought Love and Thunder was kind of like mid. I'm glad because it was really.
The first time I watched it, I was like, this was kind of mid. The second time I watched it, I was like, this is an SNL sketch dressed up as a movie.
Because the best part about the film is just the part where Thor's just like, hey, I need an army. You kids are gonna get powers. Yep. You're gonna share the powers of the Odin Force with me to fight this shit. And I was like, okay, that's the coolest thing.
I loved. There was some good moments, but it just didn't come together as a final film. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm not gonna move Hulk down to be. Nah, I'm gonna do it. It's done. We need to unload the air.
I'm putting the tweet so people know to go check out our YouTube channel. Yes. Get ready for the crap.
We did promote it at the top of the show.
Good. As planned.
As planned. We promoted at the top of the show.
I said that I should be around as like to moderate for you.
And I was like,
you'll be the third.
I was like, maybe we'll have to summon you. And Ryan's like, what? Do you have a fighter Kaus button?
Probably.
Because like literally, if it's not Kaus, it's gonna be somebody else. Like if it's not Kaus, but I don't think he starts his job yet, so he doesn't have to miss the Sierra Club live.
Yep.
I still love the infamous Michael Kinder one. No, Wheels, I don't have anything to do. All right, Jerry, you sure about that? Yes, I 100% am fine to do it that day. Okay, because you know that day we're doing it is this day. Yeah. I am completely free. Okay, because Monday Japan time, Jerry. Sunday American time. Yeah, I am free to do it. I do not have work. Then like the very like next day after everything's nailed in and we are scheduled, Jerry goes, Wait, I thought you said Monday night into Tuesday. I said, no, Jerry, I double checked with you and I even said, just so your dyslexia doesn't even know. And Soundout was like, yeah, he did say that. And Jerry's like, how the hell did I tune you out when I was locked in? And I was like, well, you did.
Mm-hmm.
It was the funniest shit ever. Jerry was hyper-focused on me so hard, he disassociated somehow. It was the greatest thing ever.
Common Jojo says, how did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a funny story.
How did we meet?
I mean, me and Wills met through CS Toys.
Well, that's the funnier part. We did meet through CS Toys, but what happened was Soundout was reviewing stuff, and what happened was I met him tangentially, because I was already in CS Toys. Soundout was buying at CS Toys, but Soundout was still a kid, so he wasn't on the streams as often.
Yeah.
And so, we had mutuals like Shuquin Shinobi, Collector Shuki, and Eugene 421 like 81, and some of the other originals back during the 2009 to 2011 era of CS Toys chat members at Ustream. And I was buying Mini Pla, and they said, oh, yeah, because back then reviewers kind of tried to actually, like, if you were in the same community, the reviewer pool and content creators were so small, content creators in the Tokusatsu community at one point, unlike Transformers fans, said to each other, "Hey, I want to review this thing. Are you planning to review this item next? So I don't, cut into your views." Back then, we were actually very cordial and in a community where we would ask, unlike the Transformers guys who were always at war with each other trying to get it out first. We actually would ask, "Hey, can I take this review? Can I take that review?"
We were
Because
like
the
trying
pool
to
was so
build
small.
like a neat little like network of entertainers.
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was Soundout was doing the first two Shinkenger sets, and then he just like had stopped. And I was like, I guess Soundout doesn't do it anymore. So I was
That
like,
was because
hey,
I
is
was
it
in high
cool?
school and didn't have consistent money.
Yeah, no. And I was like, hey, is it cool if I do the rest of the Shinkenger line? And that's how I started doing mini-pla, because I did the mini-pla, and my first couple of mini-pla reviews are kind of ass by standards of my later videos. But, like, Soundout was like, my videos were technically better than him, because, like, I had, like, this weird attention to detail. And then so, like, I just kept doing mini-pla to the extent that Metal started doing it, Visible Ninja, when he was a reviewer, to the extent people thought Visible Ninja started mini-pla reviews, which he stole from me.
Which you stole from me.
Well, I asked permission. Metal just stole from me straight up. Like, he just straight up started doing it. Yeah. There's a difference. He didn't say, "Hey, can I have your permission?" He just started going, "I do mini-pla now."
Yep, that's kind of how like everything rolls together. But then we
met Chaos because we had Hero Taku.
I wanted nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Took a while to warm up to us.
It's funny too, because Jerry has a good lying face. He has a good poker face, because Jerry always like seemed to be the only guy there who had my back at Morphin Bracers podcast. And it's kind of true though. He actually was one of the only guys, because I said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna get fired because this guy works at Raijo Nihon who doesn't like me." And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, that guy caused a shit fit, went to Oga and Favine, who owned Raijo Nihon, and told them I had to get kicked off the podcast I was on because me and him had a blood feud back in the day.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
And I was one of the few who was like, "That ain't right." But even
exactly, because remember, I even said I will play nice. I will not bring our beef to the show. I said straight up. I gave my consent that I would not. I said I will not bring the heat to the show because I'm just happy to be here. And that guy pulled his Hulk Hogan card, saying that doesn't work for me, brother. And lo and behold, then he got bashed at the beach by Favine later that year.
Kyle Jojo says if we've met IRL. I've met Wheels. That was fun at Morphicon.
And none of y'all want to come up here.
It's not that I don't want to come up there. It's just a very long distance for me to travel.
You went to Boston and then got stuck in a bad neighborhood that I could have warned you about.
Admittedly,
like when it comes,
I went to Boston unplanned. I was there in Rhode Island. Then I ended up going to Boston, and I was like, well, if I knew I was going to be going this far out, I would have made plans.
Like Soundout, I think
but I'll never go to Boston without Jerry ever again, because I cannot be trusted in Boston.
Like Soundout, in the greater sphere. I think, what is it? You've only met me and technically Zeltrax.
Yep.
That work at the site now in person.
Yeah.
And I believe Easy Rider and Matty J, and that's about it at Hero Club. You've only met us 4 in person. Versus me, where I've met you, Oga, Favine, Project, and Zeltrax, Easy, Matty J, and like
here's
other
the kicker
associates.
About me and Wheels not meeting. We're not too far from each other.
Yeah.
LPH says, is everyone cool now, or no more bad blood?
Okay, so the blood. I guess the best way to say, if there is any bad blood, it's a Cold War. It's more like a Cold War.
Yeah. I don't have any bad blood with anybody now. I'm chilled out.
Because we're pretty chilled out with most of the people that we have beef with, but they don't want to, like, they don't want to accept the apologies or get, they don't want to. The best way to say it, they don't want to create the closure that's necessary, but they don't have beef, in a sense. They're not going out of their way to do flame wars with us anymore. That's the best way to explain it, is they're not trying to step on our toes, and we're not directly straight up stepping on their toes. But essentially, no one actually wants to do the closure, even though we've tried to, like, hey, let's talk this out. Yeah, exactly, like Jerry said.
I
borders in it.
a few years ago I decided I'm just gonna tell people straight up if I have a problem with them, and it's been working out for me. I'm just like, look, here's the problem. Let's fix it. And then sometimes I don't want to fix it, and then I just move on with my life. That's all I get to do. It's how it works. So it's just the best way to handle things now is to just kind of go like.
All I know is Muteki's trying to name names, and all I'm gonna say is Muteki. At least you're in the ballpark of people we used to associate with.
Muteki can name names all he wants, but I don't have any bad blood with anybody. If people have bad blood with me, that's on them. That's
yeah. No, that's pretty much on them at this point. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, 100%.
Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Like I got adult things to do, like
I need to eat because I'm starving.
and jobs.
I think the best
and
way to
working
explain
at
it
a
is
job.
Yeah.
the best way to explain it is like CM Punk once said, "I work with children."
Wheels dropping.
I don't care
wrestling lore, and I don't understand what that means. But anyways.
Well, I do.
I love how someone asked, "Are you guys fans of the Toku Cast?" And I'm like, "We never even heard of them."
I don't know who the Toku Cast is.
I don't know who they are.
I just looked them up on YouTube, and I thought it was I thought it was Dragon Zeron, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't Dragon Zeron," and I was like, "No, okay."
Yeah. Jerry, tell us your truth about what you're doing tomorrow. Busy day, right? So you're not going to stream tomorrow, right? Cows?
Yeah, I'm not streaming tomorrow because I got a lot to do.
Yeah.
A lot of real. Oh my goodness!
You were telling me, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, as you were telling me the list, I was like, okay, now if he doesn't say he's going to cancel, I'm going to recommend he cancels the stream because that's a lot.
I know. To put it lightly, medical stuff, work stuff, bureaucratic red tape stuff with my mom. Golly,
you got too much going on, but people should still follow you on Twitch.
Yes.
So that way they know next time you go live, which should hopefully be Friday, right?
Yep. Should be. As a matter of fact, it's a break Friday, so if you want, we can pick what we're going to play Friday. I don't know. Either that or me and Wheels play Nikkei. I don't know.
I mean, if I actually show up on Friday, because remember, I still wake up at like 5 or 6.
Well, anyways, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to stream Nikkei, we should do it like in hijack it so Metal doesn't stream.
Hey, Wheels, you want to promote something again?
Okay, so we got a lot of things. Oh wait, Jerry, were you done? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I thought you said something. Okay, so anyways, Soundout, bring up this photo again of what we did, of what we're doing next Monday. Time and date is subject to change.
Even though it's still, we're still waiting on confirmation, but this is
but like we said, that's the time and date we asked him about, and he said it's fine, but no changes have happened. So next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, what is it, 5 p.m. What is it, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be doing a Hero Club Live, most likely on the Hero Club YouTube channel. Yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific.
9 p.m.
Did I say 6 p.m. Pacific?
You said 5.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, my bad. So 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be talking to Super 7 Stores, Kyle Wodiga, again. We're going to be talking about Ultimates. We're going to be talking about probably reaction stuff. We're going to be talking about geek stuff. Other than that, I think Soundout gave you the list of stuff that how we're going to try to follow the stream, on how we're going to conduct it compared to the Michael Kinder Hero Club Live that we did ages ago on Twitch. But essentially, go to our YouTube. It's in the link on Twitter. You go over there and check us out next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be there for probably an hour. So I don't know how long Kyle's going to give us. Like, we know when we did the interview with him the last time, it was about 2 hours in total, maybe. So, we don't know. We're going to have a show for you. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about him doing Power Morphicon. We're going to talk about each
line, and then we'll have questions, and then we'll see if the chat has questions. And
exactly.
Yeah, we'll do stuff like that.
Other than that, we also have the return of Cosplay Cafe. Just go to the Hero Club Twitter. Show them that. Our friend Ben recently brought back Cosplay Cafe, and it's been huge numbers because it's Hanayame. She's a Taiwanese cosplayer who's been doing this for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
She's collaborated with Good Smile. She's supposedly collaborating with Good Smile again to create a new character or figure based in her image for an OC, I guess, cosplay that she does. And so Ben interviewed her. And so the full interview was able to be read on the site.
Yep.
And other than that, check out Hero Club by following us across social media using Hero Club for Life, like you see on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitch. Twitch streams are Wednesdays and Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Last Wednesday we did the news, as well as did a live watch kind of commentary and riff of Lord Zed's Monster Heads, where we talked about some of the behind-the-scenes production of that VHS, as well as just joked about the episodes used for that special, as well as like just topics of like what Ranger monster suits kind of like creeped you out as a kid, because me and Spin Dash were toddlers when the early seasons came out, so some of the early monster suits actually did freak us the hell out, and you'll be surprised as to which ones really messed us up, as well as Visible Ninja supposedly was afraid of a few of the suits too, he said, growing up as a kid. So hey, you'll hear some funny stories about how season 1 suits really messed us up.
And on that note, usual thing on the channel this week: 2 shorts, 2 videos,
Right.
and we're going to have cool videos. There's gonna be a couple comic book videos, are the next short, comic based. Have another sponsored short, and then Wednesday's video will also be a comic book video because Omnibus October happened for me. And then we're gonna do something for Friday. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. I got time, but that'll be this week. We'll be back, of course, streaming next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. Followed up with the Kyle Wodaga interview after. So we'll jump.
Yeah, so at least Santa has a time to get the stream set up and grab dinner.
Yep. So I'll be able to jump over to that, and should be fun. So on that note, we will see you guys next week.